Hello there.
Hello.
Welcome.
We got something a little bit different lined up for this time around.
Yes, we do. This
The
is
double
going.
feature.
Yeah, this is a double feature where, Mush is going to be streaming the. Mush is streaming the book,
The
the feed of the
ebook.
book, the ebook rather. Yeah, it's a better way of putting it. And I'm going to be continuing to play the game. I'm going to be doing the post game stages, the the Act 3 stages.
And of course,
could
going
not-
back to the other first two acts in each level to 100% them as well.
Don't fucking tempt me.
All right. I will have
English
to
has been
ask.
put through enough.
I will have to ask that you guys keep a particularly close eye on the chat for, lots of any things about volume and adjustment and
Yeah.
just balancing and stuff. And if you want to see,
Balancing?
shut the fuck up.
and if
Get out!
And if
Okay, fine.
you want at any point to look at both my feed and Mush's feed simultaneously, as opposed to just listening, if you type !mush like that without the space, where is the chat? Why is chat not showing up on stream? Oh, that's because hold on, late. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's trained to not show something that has exclamation point at the beginning. So I was scared for a second when it didn't. But for now, it's time for the nightmare to continue. So, Mush, start reading, I guess.
Okay. So, Balan Wonderworld, Maestro of Mystery, Theater of Wonders.
It sure is the theater of something.
It's a theater of crack cocaine.
Balan Theater appears out of nowhere. And at the beginning of the book, it has some bios for all the characters, and I only took a quick glance at it, but it's made some weird decisions.
It's already given us more information on individual characters than the stages did. So
Okay,
there's
but
that.
also, from what I can tell, the book itself refers to the characters by their names, Emma and Leo. The
Yes.
bios at the beginning call them Street Beat and Fighter.
I see.
Yeah, she looks like a fighter. I think she'd throw down.
She'd
So
probably fist fight.
I'm just going to start off by reading all of these first off.
Please
Street
do.
Beat, the star of our show. Too cool to join any dance troupes, he rehearses his moves in the solitude of his stage, made in the likeness of a beautiful city center.
Way past cool.
Way past cool.
Too cool for dance troupe.
The girl called Fighter. The mysterious girl who appears to Street Beat and the other residents of Wonderworld in their visions, upsetting the peaceful lives they'd all lived on their stages until now. That's a little bit more ominous than I
This
thought.
is incredibly vague.
The grinning man in the top hat.
Oh, that's just awful.
An unsettling
an
man
apt
who
description.
appears along with Fighter to the residents of Wonderworld in their visions. With his top hat drawn well below his eyes and a mouth warped in a constant grin, it's no wonder everyone feels a little creeped out by him.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm also
God,
creeped
they're
out.
just biting into us, guys.
And Lance.
Lance doesn't get a fun name.
No title for you, just Lance. Introducing
Despite the
him-
fact that he's the main antagonist of the game and should probably be given the most, intimidating name possible.
Well, they never actually mentioned his name in the game proper. They gotta do it here.
Introducing himself as the Maestro of Wonderworld, this mild-mannered man strikes a handsome figure in his white outfit and cape. He warmly watches over all of Wonderworld's residents, Street Beat included.
Oh no, they broke the mirror. It's the
Oh,
plot of
no.
Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Wow, this is like the beginning of the first area, just all warped and different. That's actually kind of neat.
Yeah, I just glanced over for a second, and I thought if this was the first area again.
It
I thought
is.
you went to the wrong place or something.
It's like
The lighting's a little
evil,
different though.
There's also goop lying around.
Yeah,
Oh
Also,
boy.
I did not know you could collect those gems by punching them.
I didn't either. I forgot I couldn't jump. Why in the world did I think anything would be different? Why was I excited for today?
Because you are foolish.
Correct.
Clock Tower Kid. The first person Street Beat meets in Wonderworld. Her spacious stage, centered around a beautiful clock tower plaza, is bursting with adorable things, big and small. She's the one who told Street Beat about all the other residents of Wonderworld.
So is this an original character or is this someone that we know?
These are all
the-
characters from the game. This is the little pink
This
dress,
is the
green hair
girl who
girl.
watched the cat get
Oh, the cat girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
bland.
You know,
it
cat
sure
girl.
is.
Pensive Pierrot. A young clown whose stage is a giant amusement park. Families and couples crowd the sidewalks, enjoying the attractions to the tune of festive parade music. As soon as they meet, he treated Street Beat to a ride on the Ferris wheel. I can't get over that they keep calling him Street Beat.
Stop. Just anytime that you read the word street beat, just say Leo.
No, I refuse.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. If
We're
that's
not
how the game,
compromising on
that's how
that,
the novel's
Carlos.
going to refer to them, then that's how we got it.
No, Scarecrow. His name is not Ted. It's not whatever the hell it was supposed to be. His name is Scarecrow.
His name is Jose Gallard, I think.
His name is Scarecrow.
It's Scarecrow now.
A farmer who spends his days looking out over his vast cornfields, which stretch as far as the eye can see. A gracious host, he brought out refreshments, including ginger ale and coffee, when Street Beat and the others visited his stage.
Nice.
I see.
I don't remember him doing that in the game.
Just kind of.
They
loomed.
don't interact. Nobody interacts with anybody
Why did I
aside
think
from a single dance number in the game.
There's a second dance number.
Okay, that's fair. Almost forgot about that one.
the one at the
Bugsy.
very end.
Her stage is a forest where myriad bugs as big as puppies live together in harmony. Though shy, she gave a warm welcome to Street Beat and the others when they visited.
Fucking street beat, Jesus.
Strike me. Farmer Ted does strike me as the ginger ale man.
Watcher of the Woods. A woman who protects the deep, sun-dappled woods that cover her stage. She invited Street Beat and the others to chat in one of the many cozy tree houses built into the branches.
I'm assuming that's the bird lady.
Yep. Sentinel of the City. A brawny man who patrols the sunset city of his stage to make sure everyone is safe. From every house
that's the
spills warm
fireman.
light, and through the windows, happy families can be seen sitting down to their supper. All while everything is fucking on fire in this image.
It's
Safe.
fine.
Safety and priorities.
Sky Gazer. A bespectacled high school boy who lounges in the grass staring up at the sky above. The hills of his stage are covered in windmills of every color and culminate in cliffs that spill down into the sea.
Why did I think that anything was going to be different?
Sea Gazer. Sky Gazer and Sea Gazer. Okay, sure, why not? A woman with long hair pulled into a ponytail who sits on a bindweed blanketed beach and stares over the sprawling sea. Yet she never even dips a toe into the surf.
Probably because she's scared of getting eaten by sharks.
Or a dolphin.
It's
Because
dolphins.
Madam
A
of the
dolphin is
Mansion.
just a slightly less smooth shark.
A prim butler opens the door to welcome visitors to the Madam's corpulent mansion, guiding them to her through rooms resplendent with ornate furnishings. It was when
Oh,
meeting his talkative,
resplendent.
lovely lady that Street Beat and the others caught their first glimpse of furry, wriggling somethings.
I don't like any of the descriptions behind that.
I do. I'm interested.
Checkered King. This sharply dressed gentleman stage is something straight out of the Middle Ages. In the castle in the center of town he lives, along with his queen, beautiful in her gown and tiara. Is this a character who was in the game?
It's the chess guy.
No, I mean
Oh,
the
fuck.
queen.
I don't think so.
It's a metaphor for the actual queen.
At the jousting match to which the king invited them to spectate, Streetbeat and the others caught another glimpse of those furry things.
We'll probably get to those when the actual story gets there, Violet.
Yeah, these are all just
Yeah,
introductions for the characters in the novel,
I'm
more
just
so
reading
than their
character
appearance
bios.
in the book. Yeah.
Invisible Custodian, the stately old man who strolled out of the imposing ruins of the ancient temple. His walking stick tapping against the stone, he wanders the ruins constantly to make sure there isn't a scrap of litter in sight.
That's the Invisible Man.
Yeah, I really like how they drew the specifically the Invisible Man in this one too.
Hmm.
Also, yeah, you were totally right. There's one costume in each world that corresponds to the character because they've been showing them alongside the character in question for all of these pictures.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lady of the Midnight Sun, aka
Oh, no.
Dubby's wife.
She's really pretty.
Fighter led everyone to a lonely stage where the sun never sets.
Fuck, why did I thought I was fucking Fox? I haven't gotten a single goddamn trophy yet.
In the center
fine.
of the quaint, conifer-ensconced town, they find a solitary figure sitting on a park bench. She was rather short with them when they spoke to her.
Rude.
Anyway, that's the end of the intros. Onto the table of contents, which
Wow,
shows...
the table of content is just as obnoxious to look at as the stage select in the game.
I know, like, it's
7,
okay, Clueless.
11, 91, 111,
What the
221.
fuck?
Why is
it's
chapter
a-
3
it's a
100 pages?
It's a circle but instead of laying things around like a clock like you'd expect, it goes down vertically, but it skips from one
It
side
like
to the other.
zigzags.
Yeah,
Why?
I'm looking at the preview image now, and
Why
it's
is
like,
it like
what the
this?
fuck?
It's just like the stage select.
It makes no sense.
Hate this.
Oh, Yuji Naka, I have a lot of feelings about you right now.
Okay. The Balan Theater appears out of nowhere. Everyone visits this strange playhouse once or twice over the course of their life, and everyone meets Balan, the mysterious maestro with a smile like a shared secret. Even
Whether
you,
they like it or not.
even you, though you wouldn't remember. No one does.
That's kind of creepy.
That's like saying that everyone's visited the North Pole, but that when they forget that when they forget that Santa exists, they just forget those memories immediately, and they can't hear the little silver bell ring.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be the parallel here.
The Polar Express and Balan Wonderworld?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Childhood wonderment, or something like that. I don't fucking know.
The beginning. Out on the street, the dancers worked through their routine, perfectly in sync thanks to their long days of practice. Every move met with cheers from the gallery. Past this spectacle went a young boy. "Hey, Leo," called one of the performers. "Come dance with us." It wasn't the first time the dancers had tried, and failed, to get the boy to join in. He ignored this invitation as he had ignored all the rest, and walked by the dancers without so much as a glance. For a street troupe, the dancers were surprisingly good, but to the boy, they were no better than amateurs.
Wow, what a dick.
What a shit!
Wow.
He kept his eyes downcast and walked. Last night, the skies had been filled with shooting stars. Dubbed the El Trandos, everyone in town had oohed and awed up at the storm of meteors filling the night. Everyone, that is, except the boy, who walked
Who
with
was
his eyes
never happy about anything.
who walked with his
He was
eyes
always
downcast
bitching about
then, as he
something or
did
other.
now. He didn't understand why everyone was making such a fuss over something as mundane as rocks.
Space rocks!
They're fucking, what kid isn't into space shit? Like, what, like, come on.
Because
This
This
kid's got
kid,
no
'cause he's
sense
edgy.
of adventure.
Boy's gaze shot up to an alley he had passed and ignored hundreds of times. Something about it called to him.
Yeah, this alley's more interesting than a fucking meteor, you know.
He turned down the alley. After a couple of steps, he saw some sort of light up ahead. The boy knew this town like the back of his hand. Last time he checked, there hadn't been anything down this alley except a vacant lot. He kept going. Surprise stopped him in his tracks. The alley led to a strange building he had never seen before. It was a theater, and a huge one too. Yet he hadn't heard anything about its construction. Dozens of neon signs flashed on its facade, but he didn't see a single person inside or out. It felt like
On its
time.
facade?
Yeah, that's
Facade
the,
is
it's the front
just
of the
saying
building.
front, basically. Like
The
norm,
part
like
of the
in
building that
other
faces the
contexts.
street.
Yeah, in other contexts, it would mean like a lie, but it's
I have
The-
never heard facade used like this.
It's the facade is what is outwardly presented to the world, whether it's the front of a building or the lights.
Whether that-
skeleton
it-
people.
I hate
It
that.
actually got its
Whether
current
that's-
definition because of Hollywood, because they would build their sets using only the front half of the buildings that
okay.
you would
I
see
don't
on the
know
camera.
shit, by the way.
no, no, that's reasonable. I feel like more people use it as a in the liar's context.
Yeah. He peered through one of the windows. Unexpectedly, the front doors opened wide, as if an invitation. Boy felt hundreds of eyes on him, watching, waiting. But when he looked
Right.
around, there was no one there. He hesitated for a moment, then relented to the invisible force coaxing him inside. The doors closed slowly behind him, and the boy vanished from the world.
Alright.
Why
I'm
is
listening
this
Fuck.
to
so fucking creepy, dude?
Yeah,
I wasn't
I'm
expecting
listening-
this either.
Yeah, I've been listening
Well,
to the
good
Magnus stuff
news.
previously. I know where this is going now.
Good news. The entire time it took you to read all the intros and get to the point where he walks into the theater, I just got my first statue because I took so fucking long.
Well, to be fair, you got
Congratulations.
the platform being too fast a couple times.
Yeah. There
I'm
was
only
some
half
weird
paying attention
nonsense
to your
happening.
feed, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. It's just the
This little
same Balin
mouse thing is
bullshit.
cute
That's
as
the
hell.
whole point of this.
It's
to
just bait.
stave off. Yeah. I guess.
Ooh, pictures.
Yeah, I can go into photo mode if I really wanted to. I don't.
Boy
was
set his
talking
music
about the
player
book
on the
still.
sidewalk and switched it on. An up-tempo song began to play, and his body moved to the rhythm. For a long time, he danced. He wanted to move
Unlike
like
those shitty street performers, he was good at it.
he wanted to move like no one ever had before, to accomplish acrobatic feats no one else could.
Street Beat, the superhero everyone needs.
He gave
Fucking love-
himself that name!
Honestly, I would believe that.
Beautiful downtown was his stage. A plethora of stores took up the first floors of the 4-story brick buildings. But there wasn't even so much as a window shopper in sight. There was only the boy, dancing where he always danced. In this world, in Wonderworld, you could dance and never tire, never get sleepy. The boy had lost track of how many hours, or days, years, he'd been dancing. At some point, he noticed a shadow-like creature at his feet staring right at him. Its black body bore some sort of strange patterning. It had legs and feet, although it looked unlike any animal the boy had ever seen. This one beside him was about the size of a large dog, though others loomed much taller than the boy. There were all sorts of these shadow beasts around. Every one came in a peculiar shape, and they gave him an unsettled feeling if he looked at one long enough, but they never seemed to actually do anything, so he never paid them much mind. Boy stopped dancing and stared back at the shadow. Its attention
That's
turned to a
good.
shimmering drop on the sidewalk. It was a crystal, about as big as a rugby ball, but the shadow stretched wide. Its maw and gulped the drop down in one bite.
Slurp.
Drops were always showing up where you least expected them. There were red ones and yellow ones, but you couldn't ignore the violets. In fact, they came in every color of the rainbow,
Violet.
glittering something pretty. It wasn't any great loss for one to get swallowed up by a shadow. There were more where that came from. Besides, beyond being shiny, the boy did not even know what the drops were, nor did he particularly care. So long as he could keep dancing, he was satisfied. Still, though he got to do what he wanted when he wanted, a strange sort of unease would sometimes creep over him. He started dancing again to shake it off, but an image flashed through his mind, disrupting his focus. Huh? The vision shocked him out of the rhythm. His feet tangled, and he fell to the ground. What was
Laugh at
that?
him.
His heart drummed wildly inside his chest. He drew long, deep breaths, trying to remember what he had seen. I think there was a girl? She might have been 13, maybe 14, right around his age, but he was certain they'd never met. After all, there was no one else around. This was his stage, and his alone.
It's
Behind
mine, bitch. You can't have it.
Get out of here!
Behind the girl in his vision had stood a strange shadowed figure, tall, face split in a large grin, and a top hat pulled down over his eyes. The boy was certain he'd never met this man either. He had no idea who either of them were, but thinking about him made his heart start pounding in apprehension all over again.
Same.
He's fucking terrified.
He shook his head, trying to clear the vision from his mind. I'm just imagining things. Yet the uncomfortable tightness in his chest would not abate. He drew in a long breath. Someone called his name. He turned to look and saw a tall man dressed in handsome white clothes and a billowing cloak. Lance. He would visit the boy's stage from time to time, and always bore the same gentle smile. The shadows never spoke, meaning Lance, Wonderworld's maestro, as he put it, was the only
you
person the
serious?
boy could talk to.
I can
Lance-
freeze the Tims, but I can't freeze this fucking block.
What?
I fucking hate this.
Oh my
Sounds
god,
worse.
it's just slightly too high.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, game design.
No!
There's no fucking checkpoints in this level.
Oh no.
Well
It's
now,
fine.
what ails my poor chum? He asked. You're crouched here all
My
alone,
poor
looking rather
chum.
glum.
My poor chum.
Oh,
Oh, no.
god,
He's
he's
going
gonna
to rhyme.
speak. He's gonna talk in rhyme the whole book, isn't he?
Jesus.
Nothing. The boy stood, glancing away. Lance always spoke so kindly to him, and always lent a hand when he needed it. The boy didn't want to bother him with something as lame as his imagination acting up. Are you sure? Lance leaned in close, his deep blue eyes searching the boy's. I was just thinking this place could use a little something, he lied. For instance? Like some props for my routine. For some of the more acrobatic moves. In the streets? You know, like maybe fire hydrants or something. An idea
Oh, we got
most
plenty
grand.
of those.
I'd say do it. This is, after all, your stage to command. Alter it
To
however
die.
you see fit. You recall how I showed you the trick of it?
Oh god.
I hate this. I hate this already.
The boy
Fucking hate
pointed.
This
guy.
is why Lance is the villain, because this and this alone.
The boy pointed to a street
Shut up,
corner,
motherfucker.
envisioning what he wanted in his mind. A second later, a fire hydrant sprang into existence. Something like this, he said. Lance smiled at him. Why stop there? Change this whole place if you like. Add your own flair. This is my Wonderworld, and here on this stage, you call the shots. But should the need arise, ask for my aid with no second thoughts. For such a dear friend, both my hands I would gladly lend. With a slight flourish of his hand, Lance disappeared. As soon as he was out of sight, the boy let out a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I would too with that fucking rhyming.
It's not that he disliked Lance. The boy appreciated
I
his
do.
help, and Lance was the absolute nicest. It was just that he liked being alone better. It was easier to relax without other people around. The boy drew in another breath and started to dance. He would dance for as much as he wanted. He planted one hand atop the brand new hydrant and swung himself up into a handstand. I don't need anything else to be happy. Just this. Just dancing.
Just a fire hydrant and a street. Because I'm street beat.
Someone started clapping. The sound of it nearly startled the boy into tumbling off the hydrant. He steadied himself at the last minute, then jumped gracefully back down to the street, looking around. There, still clapping,
Stupid in
stood a
front
girl.
of a girl.
Girl.
She was around 10, with a bow in her turquoise hair and a wonder in the round eyes that stared at him. The boy's mouth fell open. Aside from the shadows and Lance's occasional visits, the boy had never seen anyone or anything else here. Who are you? You mean you don't know from looking at me? Turquoise-haired girl tilted her head. I'm
No.
Clock Tower Kid. You can't tell someone's
Are
name
you
just from
serious?
looking at them. Sure you can. Let's see. You're Street Beat, right? Not even close. Then what is your name? My name? Lance had only ever called him you, and without anyone else around, not having a proper name wasn't a big deal. He never even knew he had a name until Clock Tower Kid told him so. Oh god, we're gonna have to put up with this name for the whole book.
There's
I
actually kind
feel
of
like
missing
he's
context.
gonna remember it, but like, God.
Oh god.
See, I knew it.
Why does
You are Street Beat. That's what I'm calling you. Fine, said the boy, even though it had kind of an old-timey ring to it. He needed a name, so it might as well be that one. Clock Tower Kid held out her hand. Boy called Street Beat shook it.
The
You could-
boy called Street Beat.
A boy called Street Beat.
a
You
street
could kiss
kid
the back
named
of my
Desire?
hand if you wanted, like a knight. Why? You don't look like royalty. Her expression creased into a slight pout. So, Clock Tower Kid, was it? Where'd you come from? My stage. You have a stage too? Of course I do. You really don't know anything, do you? Bet you don't even know what those are. She pointed to the shadow, which looked to be in the middle of snuffing around the ground for more drops to eat. Streetbeat shook his head. They're called negati. You get them on your stage then? Yeah, they're all over on everybody's stage. Wait, so there are more people? Why wouldn't there be? There are tons of people in Wonderworld, all living on their own stages. But everyone's super friendly, so we go play on each other's stages a lot. Streetbeat couldn't believe it. Lance had never mentioned anything about that to him, not even once. I had no idea. Clock Tower Kid gave him a confused look. You've been in Wonderworld this whole time, and never once thought there might be stages besides yours? She huffed. You must not be interested in other people, huh? You consider
I'm an
this...
asshole. In case you can't tell.
I don't think anyone but me.
you
They're
consider
so
this-
friendly. Why do they fade away when you get close to them? I believe when they're
Well,
the
look at how
negati
this
are
bitch
actually
acts.
negati
the-
are the enemies.
Yeah, I think those
what,
are the enemies
what
that Blue's
I'm-
been fighting.
what I'm getting the gist of is that Lance is basically like feeding off of his negative emotions and all that, and everyone else's worlds are at least relatively happy, but his is just kind of lonely and weird, and there are negati everywhere
I
and
don't
all that.
think Violet was asking about the negati.
No, that. Oh yeah, no, never mind. Whatever, I misread. Either way, it's weird. This fucking video game is weird. Makes no sense, even with the novel.
Oh my god, Gomez, you can't just ask someone why they're unsettlingly huge. That's insensitive. Come on, dude.
You can and should.
He considered this for a moment, then nodded. I don't think I am. I'm happy dancing by myself. Really? But going to other stages and making new friends is so much fun. How do you even get to someone else's stage anyway? There are hidden
World
passageways that
Select.
connect them. I've been in Wonderworld 4 forever, so I found a whole bunch of secrets like that. What do you mean forever? How long have you been here? Clock Tower Kid tilted her head ever so slightly to one side. Dunno. Quit asking me questions and show me around your stage already. Streetbeat took her on a tour. It didn't take long. His stage was only a few blocks surrounded by an endless expanse of nothing. This place is teeny.
So did this kid just show up to insult him
Yep.
a bunch?
Good for her.
I think she specifically showed up to like make friends, and he's just being a standoffish asshole because that's his character arc.
It's plenty for dancing. If you say so. Anyway, want to check out my stage? And after that, I can introduce you to some of the others. Sure, I guess. It sounded like a pain in the butt, and he really didn't care about meeting other people. But for so long, Streetbeat had assumed this was his only stage in all of Wonderworld. Now that he knew different, he couldn't help but be a little curious.
Can't fucking believe Street Beat.
Can't believe it either.
Street beat.
Street Beat Mania.
Cool, then follow me. Clock Tower Kid took the lead down the street. So how are we leaving? Is there an underground tunnel or something? Clock Tower Kid shook her head. Nope, no tunnels. It's all in how we move. That's the key to opening the invisible doors to other stages. First, you walk straight ahead for 10 steps, then turn left for 8. She crossed the street and went down an alley, then vaulted herself over a squat wall. She was light and quick on her feet, so fast that Streetbeat had to scramble to keep up. This way and that way they zigged and zagged. He did his best to remember all the turns. Clock Tower Kid leapt nimbly off a wall. What are you, some sort of cat? Don't! She shouted. She crouched
Don't
down.
you dare call me a furry!
She crouched down, trembling, and covered her ears. Don't say that! I'm not listening! She curled in on herself even more, shaking violently. Clock Tower Kid? Hey, you okay? No matter how many times Streetbeat called her name, she would not respond. I'm forgetting what you said, she mumbled at last, closing her eyes. Forget. Then, all forgot, she said, and stood straight back up.
What the fuck?
I guess she's upset about her cat, but this seems like a little much.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
but-
not particularly healthy, methinks. When she looked back
Also,
at him,
parts
there was
that
no trace
elephant
of her
throat
earlier
that I just
terror
made
anywhere
as
on her
I
face.
laughed.
What's with you, Streetbeat? You gotta keep up or it won't work. So she really had forgotten his cat comparison, and what hearing it had done to her. Streetbeat had no clue what had just happened, but Clock
Neither
Tower,
Me
did
neither.
I.
Clock Tower Kid started walking again, so he followed. Whatever the reason, hearing the word cat seemed to upset her, so he resolved not to say it in front of her again.
Revolved.
I'm surprised he cares enough about other people to give a shit about that.
They walked along the wall for a while before turning a corner, and as they did, the scenery changed. Where are we? Said Streetbeat, amazed. There ought to have been a hamburger shop right in front of them, but instead, it was a place he'd never seen before. My stage! Clock Tower Kid's chest puffed out in pride. We passed through the invisible walls between them. In front of them sprawled a huge plaza, in the middle of which stood a beautiful clock tower. Here and there, Streetbeat could see Niggity. That much, at least, was just like his stage. Strolling along the street in front of the clock tower were people, though their bodies were partially see-through. Streetbeat realized these insubstantial people must be of Clock Tower Kid's creation. And it wasn't just people walking around, but stuffed animals and dolls, too. Did you make all of this? Sure did, she said, nodding. I like all the hustle and bustle. Lance showed me how to do it. You want me to show you? Streetbeat shook his head. I'm good. If you say so. Clock Tower Kid did not seem convinced, but she let it go and began the tour of her stage. It was different from Streetbeat's in every way imaginable, though he had to admit it was beautiful. Clock Tower Kid had pulled out all the stops. Tied around the street lamps were bows of every color, and the benches all had covers on them embroidered with cute designs and characters. Teddy bears and fuzzy mice and all kinds of stuffed animals sat on the benches, chattering away. Streetbeat was not surprised to notice there were no stuffed cats in sight. It was
So
nice,
they're all just hanging out instead of dancing creepily.
I guess. It was
Oh,
nice, but
that sounds so nice.
wasn't the sort of stage he would have designed for himself. He sniffed the sweet-smelling air.
That's why it's
feeling
not
a
your
little out of
stage,
place.
asshole.
What do you think? It's something else, he demurred. If you want to go back to your own stage, all you have to do is go back down the path we used to come here, but backwards. For example, we went 10 forward and 8 right to get here, so to go back you'd have to go 8 forward and 10 left. What a surprise to see. Taking field trips to other stages, are we? Called a voice behind them. Streetbeat whirled and saw Lance. He hadn't even noticed the man's appearance. Lance flourished a hand in his usual graceful greeting and smiled. Fancy meeting you here. Am I in trouble? For some reason, Streetbeat felt like he should have asked Lance's permission before going to someone else's stage. But Lance only shook his head. Perish the thought. When have I ever told you what you can or cannot? If you want to do something, do. Far be it from me to control you.
Why did we kick this guy's ass again?
Because he's rhyming.
Yeah.
Okay, besides that, does he have malicious intent towards the protagonists?
We don't know yet.
Eventually?
Based on the character info, he's not got his edgy, like, tentacle nonsense going on yet.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that's the thing, is that it's implied that they're like in their human forms.
Which are worse designs than their weirder forms, and I will stand by that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, they're
You're
definitely
right.
not as nice, but as their like quote unquote true forms, they're believable. Like they
Well,
make sense. It's just
If
they're not as nice
lame.
looking. Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, it's just, you never told me there were other stages. Lance gave a shrug. Simply knowledge you never sought. You preferred to be left to your stage and your dancing, did you not? You didn't ask, and I didn't tell. Lance glanced at Clock Tower Kid. I do hope all here is well. Everything's great, she replied, smiling at him. Wonderful, splendid, fantastic, and grand. But
Oh, I
should you need
hate
me,
you.
call my name, and I'll lend you a hand. Okay. How do you like my stage? It's more exquisite each time I visit. Lance smiled. He really looked like he meant it. I know, right? I mean, look at that teddy bear. Isn't it just the cutest? With a satisfied sigh, she pointed to one of the many stuffed animals seated upon the... One of the many stuffed animal, singular, seated upon one of the benches.
Typo in the book!
Get his ass. Fuck.
Oh, you need the.
Yep.
And here they are.
Backtracking.
Lance and the Clock Tower Kid.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me take a look at this
Yep.
artwork.
Note the distinct lack of tentacles.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
Really tall guy.
And he has very large hands.
I will say I do like their human designs. They are definitely not as interesting, but they are still
Likeable.
yeah, they're likable designs. And I would probably trust Lance in that design leagues more than I would trust fucking Malamar.
It is so, it is so. How I love watching our stage bloom and grow. Seeing you little ones happy brings such joy to my heart, though I'm afraid it is time now for me to depart. I'm sure when next I come to see all the sights, you will have created even more amazing delights. With that, Lance spun gracefully on his high heel and vanished.
Yeah.
Do you like him? asked Streetbeat. Clock Tower Kid nodded.
No.
Fuck that guy.
If he stops rhyming, I would like him at least 20% more.
He's really nice and handsome, and he taught me how to change my stage and everything. So you're happy living here too, then? Huh? Well, I mean, yeah, but, well, lately... Clock Tower Kid shook her head. Never mind, it's nothing. Streetbeat could tell she was hiding something, but he chose not to press the issue. He didn't want to get involved in other people's problems. Besides, Streetbeat had secrets of his own, like that strange vision he'd seen. But he wasn't about to confide something like that to a little kid. Wanting to change the subject, he pointed at one of the Niggity picking up drops from the streets. Your stage has them too, just like you said. I told you, every stage does. Oh, right, I was going to introduce you to some of the others. Come on. Clock Tower Kid started walking. Streetbeat didn't really care about meeting other people, but he had no reason to refuse the offer either. Plus, he wanted to figure out what was causing him to feel strangely uneasy, and what that out-of-the-blue vision was all about. Who was that girl? And the tall man in the top hat? He still couldn't remember ever meeting either of them, though now that he thought of it, the man in the top hat reminded him a little bit of Lance. But Lance always had a gentle smile on his face, and the man in the top hat had been almost smirking. Hey, come on! Clock Tower Kid shouted as she rounded a corner. 2 or 3 turns later, the world around him changed again. Pensive Pierrot. They were in a giant amusement park. Streetbeat could hear a jaunty marching tune playing somewhere in the distance. Whose stage is this? Pensive Piero, said Clock Tower Kid. She took out a small mirror from her pocket, checking her hair with a slight blush on
Remember
her
when
face.
the fucking emote mashup thing was going around? It's the pensive emoji with the clown. That's Pensive Piero.
Alright, he gets to keep his name.
Hope you like him as much as I do. There were so many people here. Families with little kids in tow, lovey-dovey couples holding hands, probably all created
Gross.
by Pensive Piero. They all-
Nasty.
They all looked like they were having the time of their lives. The air was buttery with the smell of fresh popcorn. How come it was easier to get here than when you brought me from my stage to yours? Probably because me and Pensive are friends. I had a real hard time finding the way to your stage. That's his name, Pensive.
You're gonna use pensive and not Piero.
As she spoke, the aforementioned Piero came into sight. I knew it.
Piero.
I had a hunch you were here, Clock Tower Kid. I brought a new friend. Pensive Piero removed his grinning clown's mask, revealing a remarkably handsome young man. Hello, hello, and welcome to my amusement park. I'm Pensive Piero. You must be Street Beat, am I right? Street Beat felt his jaw drop. How did you know my name? The clown inclined his head to one side and thought. Names are meant to be known, aren't they? Clock Tower Kid was the very first person I met here, and as soon as I saw her, I knew that's what she was called. I knew her name before I even knew I had a name of my own. Clock Tower Kid nodded. Yeah, first person I met was Checkered King, and we knew each other's names right away, too. They just sort of came to us. And it's been like that with everyone I've met since. Nothing out of the ordinary. If you say so.
Oh yeah, you know, nothing out of the ordinary.
Sure, kid.
Sure.
Something told Street Beat it was very out of the ordinary, but he didn't have any hard evidence to argue otherwise.
This kid just doesn't know shit, is what I'm gathering.
In fact, he was starting to think it
Yeah.
was just the way things worked around here. Well, said Pensive Piero, sweeping into a clownish bow, it's an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Clownish
What's a
bow.
clownish?
Why not
Oh,
just
you
say
know,
exaggerated bow?
Because he's a clown.
Cynical
Then everything he
Piero
does
and
is
Sour
clownish.
Piero.
Cynical Piero and dour Piero.
Oh God.
It's an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I do hope you enjoy yourself. You must ride the Ferris wheel first. You can take in the whole park from up there. As he spoke, he ushered them toward the towering structure. With a snap of his fingers, the ride crawled to a stop. The gondola door opened to reveal two small Niggity perched on the bench with confused expressions on their faces. Oh, my apologies. Pensive Piero picked the Niggity up, depositing them on the ground outside the gondola. After you.
Just remove the enemies.
Just pick him up and put him someplace
Get
else.
outta
Honestly,
here.
that's about as it's about as effective as they are in regular combat.
He
Also,
motioned
Mush,
to the
did you
now vacated seat. Clock Tower Kid lifted the hem of her skirt and stepped a quick curtsy before getting in, like a princess boarding a horse-drawn carriage. Street Beat and Pensive Piero followed. The clown snapped his fingers again, and the Ferris wheel started moving. True to his word, you really could see the entire park from the top. Roller coasters twisted and looped and spiraled. Families and couples queued for a turn on the merry-go-round. Teacups swirled in a rainbow of ever-changing color.
By the way, I'm the king of Team Plasma. Pensive Piero, king of Team Plasma. Good lord.
Street Beat had always written off amusement parks as childish and silly, but looking at all this made him want to check out each and every attraction. Even the one with white-clad figures outside, beckoning passersby into what Street Beat figured was a haunted house.
Even what looked like a fucking Ku Klux Klan meeting.
I think it's the spooky ghosts.
Yeah, I think that's
Oh,
what.
the Merry Ghosts? Oh, fuck, you're right. Damn it. I'm sad I made that comparison now.
Oh.
They really are the best.
I never get tired of coming here, said Clock Tower Kid, rapture on her face as she gazed at the park below. I'm happy to hear that, Pensive Piero replied with a smile. Clock Tower Kid quickly turned her reddening face away. Okay, so they...
Oh no, clown romance.
Yeah. But also, they're going with the ages that they were in their stages. At least it seems to be one-sided so far, and hopefully it stays that way.
I think a precocious crush can be like cute if it's handled well.
Yeah, you're right.
I just don't trust anything in this game or anything related to it to be handled well. Is
That-
the problem.
Yeah.
That is the good point. The sidewalks below were crowded with more than just park-goers. There were negati, too. It seemed like you could change every detail of your stage you wanted, except them. There's so many of them here. Here and everywhere else. I never paid them much mind before, but now I can't help but wonder. What's their deal?
Can't help wonder.
I can't help wonder. They don't
I
ever
can't
seem to
help
do
wonder.
anything but look for drops. Without warning, Pensive Piero started shaking, all the blood draining from his face. Pensive! Clock Tower Kid grabbed his sleeve. His eyes squeezed shut, and for a while he just shook and shook. Eventually he opened his eyes, bit by bit, his breath ragged. Who are they? He mumbled. Flashes of his own vision flitted through Streetbeat's head. Pensive, you saw something. Someone just now, didn't you? So, you've seen them too? Streetbeat nodded. Yeah, not long ago I got this vision of a grinning man in a top hat and a girl. It's them. Was it your first vision? Streetbeat nodded again. This is my second. But it wasn't just the man in the top hat and the girl. There was a woman with long silver hair, too. I didn't get a good look at them, though. Everything was all fuzzy. Huh. I never saw a silver-haired woman. Didn't? Pensive Piero looked surprised to hear that. Ever since my first vision of her, I've had this sort of yearning. Like I want to be near her, but I can't close the distance between us. It makes me feel so very lonely.
You have a crush on
Be
her
this
too.
dude.
Hmm.
Oh man, this fucking womanizing clown.
His eyes were fixed on something very far away. Clock Tower Kid tugged on his sleeve. You're not alone. You've got me. Seeming flustered, the clown gave a quick nod. I know. I don't feel so lonely when you're around. But I've always wondered why everyone called...
That whole point of the teleporter is to be able to teleport through walls,
Like,
and yet the distance is too short to go through the wall.
well, just not that one, I guess.
This is literally the world where it was introduced, though, and they introduced it with those walls of coral, and yet.
What, do you expect them out of consistent game design? or something?
You know what? Yeah, that's fair. God, fucking leave me alone, please.
Bad.
But I've always wondered why everyone calls me Pensive Pierrot, and now I think it's because I'm
Because
always
it's
thinking.
funny sounding.
Because you're pensive and your name is Piero.
I'm always thinking about her. He let out a small sigh, even though I've never met her. A sorrowful look crossed Clock Tower Kid's face. And you should just forget about her. The clown let the comment go by without response. But what about you? He said to the girl. Have you seen anything? For a few moments, she did not answer. And there's all of them in the Ferris wheel carriage with the girl
Oh
and
yeah,
the girl
Wow,
and the
the
mysterious
sexy
man on
clown.
the ceiling.
I've seen that illustration before. I think on one of the wiki pages.
What a mysterious little man.
I've seen them, she said at last. That creepy grinning man with the top hat and the girl. She looks like she's the same age as you, Streetbeat. Her name is Fighter.
Frog. Frog.
Wrong!
Frog.
Fighter. Oh!
Frog!
Oh my god, it's cute!
I've never been happier.
Frog!
Where the fuck is it? Why is it so far down in the emote list? There, found it. Jesus.
Oh, that's
Roared. Her name is Fighter. I never said anything because I didn't want you to think I was weird, Pensive. But there was a really scary creature,
You know,
too.
with a name
Weird,
like Pensive.
It was a really scary creature, too. It was mostly in shadow, so I couldn't really tell what it was, except that it had pointy ears.
Ooh, let's use the frog.
I will be. I'm just
Street-
waiting for more to appear so I can get more.
That makes sense. Street Beat wondered if it had been a cat she'd seen, but kept the thought to himself. He didn't want to send her into another panic like before. So it's not just me then. All three of us have had visions of the same grinning man and girl. It has to mean something, but what? And why are we seeing each something slightly different? The silver-haired woman for me, the scary creature for Clock Tower Kid. Did you see anything else, Street Beat? Me? No, I didn't. But how many people are there in Wonderworld? People like us, I mean. Clock Tower Kid and I have met 12, including you. And there's signs of one other, but no one's ever been to their stage. Pensive Piero crossed his arms over his chest. Something's up. Maybe I ought to talk to the others. That grinning man and the girl called Fighter could be dangerous. You shouldn't go alone, said Clock Tower Kid, grabbing the clown's sleeve. Yeah, you're right. I'd feel better if you were with me. At that, Clock Tower Kid's face turned red again. Coming, Street Beat? Street
No.
Beat didn't really care about meeting the others or seeing their stages, but he couldn't not care
Street
if something.
Beat didn't really care, is like every
Street
other
Beat was
cat.
just determined to be the least interested protagonist in the world.
Street Beat's just a huge jackass.
But he couldn't not care if something weird was about to happen to Wonderworld. It would really suck if it got in the way of his dancing, just when he'd finally got into a good groove. Yeah, that checks out.
Fuck this scared young child, but if it gets in the way of my dancing.
Yeah, sure, I'm coming. So where should we start? If we're going to visit everyone, it would be kind of a pain, but first... Pensive Piero put a finger to Clock Tower Kid's mouth to stop her. Hold on. There's something Street Beat needs to take in for himself. Clock Tower Kid tilted her head at him, but understanding soon blossomed over the confusion on her face. Gotcha, she said, and started walking. Pensive Piero followed, keeping pace with her as they headed toward whatever destination he apparently had in mind. Street Beat hurried after them, but found himself glancing back over his shoulder as he went. He couldn't put his finger on it, but he had the oddest feeling that something was missing from Pensive's amusement park. It was quiet. That jaunty marching tune from earlier had stopped.
Fuck. Oh well, I didn't want that frog anyway. I've got like 6 more.
Rip frog.
I'm actually slightly bitter. Also, hi, Fridge. Things go.
Oh god, I feel like a wild animal.
Scarecrow.
Did you want to like? Did you want to like swap readers every chapter so you're not needing to read this whole thing in one go?
I mean, I wouldn't mind reading the whole thing, but if you want to give it a
Oh,
go,
okay,
then-
okay, no.
Okay. The stage changed. The scent of oil permeated the air.
Dirt!
Dirt! In front of them stood a wooden arch, beyond which stretched nothing but corn and more corn. The Verdant
Corn!
Stalk-
It's Farmer Ted!
Yeah,
Marvin Day!
the Verdant stalks looked still too early to harvest. Negity wove through the fields, picking up the drops scattered here and there on the ground, just like in Street Beat stage. An old-fashioned farmhouse squatted in the middle of the fields. A middle-aged man in overalls and a straw hat sat in a rocking chair on the front porch. He must have
Alright,
noticed
I'm
Street
gonna
Beat and
need
the
you to-
others because he
to
was waiting.
I'm gonna need you to use Control F on the ebook and have it replace every name of the farmer with Farmer Ted, or just Ted.
We're
Hey,
here
wait.
to- this game, the story's bad decisions. We're not going to replace things with.
They waded through the sea of corn toward the farmhouse. Howdy,
Sea
Clock
of
Tower
corn.
Kid. Clock Tower Kid.
Sea
Pensive,
of corn.
Pensive Piero. And the man paused his rocking, squinting at the boy. Street Beat, I reckon. Is there anyone who doesn't know my name? Wait,
Apparently we didn't until like 20 minutes ago.
And you
when
yourself.
we and when we discovered the fact that his name is actually Street Beat and not Leo. You know, a normal name.
I think the idea is that he actually had normal name because the other dancers that he just fucking ignored specifically called him Leo, but he forgot his own name as soon as he got in here.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
sounds like some identity nonsense going on. Which could be cool if they didn't call him Street Beat. instead.
No! Why?
Street.
Street Beat. Why don't you try guessing his? Said pensive Piero, almost teasingly. Seriously? Street Beat didn't think it would work, but he decided to humor the clown anyway. He stared at the older man, long and hard. A name popped into his head. Scarecrow? Nope, it's Ted! You betcha! The man clapped a hand to Street Beat's shoulder. Hi, Scarecrow. How've you been? Said Clock Tower Kid. A broad grin lit Scarecrow's face. Oh, just fine, thanks for asking. Whiling away the hours just staring at my fields. He motioned for
I've
them.
just
What
been
an
raging against
exciting
that
life
corn like you know
you
I like to. Oh man, we all had something to ad-lib there. Hang on. Clark, you repeat what you said.
What an exciting life this man leads.
Mhm.
I was saying, oh, you know, just raging against the corn like I always do. You know how it is.
Raging against the corn.
The man who rages
The
against
storm.
the
Fuck, I
corn.
fucked up. You know what I meant.
The man who rages against the corn.
Okay, that's fine.
Eh.
No!
No more frog.
He motioned for them to have a seat in the other chairs on the porch, then got up and opened the front door. Coffee good with you, pensive? And I've got plenty of milk for Clock Tower Kid. Ah, scratch that. You go for tea when you two visit together, ain't that right? I always have tea, corrected Clock Tower Kid, faintly glaring at the farmer as if he let slip something he shouldn't have. Shucks, I
Rage
plumb
against the
forgot,
corn.
he said.
Cannot be
scratch-
known that I drink milk.
I have strong, healthy bones, and you will be sure to provide sustenance
he
for
said,
my bones.
scratching the back of his head. Pensive Piero chuckled. What'll it be for you, Street Beat? I'm good with whatever. Don't be
Of
shy
course you
now.
are.
I gotta make a good first impression. In that case, I'll have a ginger ale. Back in 2 shakes, said Scarecrow, and disappeared inside. The three of them reclined on the porch. I like this stage. It's quiet. The clown can relax here.
Only clowns, though.
Just letting that line sink in.
A clown can
clown.
relax here.
Yeah, it's nice. Streetbeat nodded. His gaze wandered over the sheds, the various farming equipment left out here and there, and a windmill for pumping water, unmoving while someone tinkered away at it. Everything left him feeling oddly wistful. Hope you're thirsty. Scarecrow reappeared with a tray bearing coffee, tea, and a glass of ginger ale. Make yourselves at home. The farmer eased himself back down into his rocking chair. So, he said to Streetbeat, tell me about your stage. What do you get up to over there? It's just a normal city street full of shops and stuff, but I don't go shopping. I just dance. All the time? Golly, you kids sure have plenty of energy to spare. Me?
I'm like 60. I don't have that fucking kind of energy.
Me? I like to sit in this here rocking chair and look out at the fields. Spend my days peaceful like. Pensive Piero furrowed his brow. Are they all peaceful? I only ask because, well, 3 of us have been getting these odd visions. Scarecrow's eyes shot up from his own coffee. From his expression, Streetbeat could tell he'd seen something too. You mean you've seen the grinning man in the top hat? And the girl called Fighter and them dancing trees too?
The dancing.
Dancing trees?
I think they're referring to the end of stage things that I'm looking at.
Pensive Piero tilted his head. Well, none of us have seen the trees. The only things our visions all have in common are Fighter and the grinning man. What else was in yours, then? I saw a woman with long silver hair. Clock Tower Kid saw some sort of scary creature. Streetbeat only saw Fighter and the man in the top hat. Dancing trees, you say? A frown dug a deep trench
Dancing
across Scarecrow's
trees.
face. Them dancing trees. They want to take everything from me. 3 times I've seen them now, and every time they get closer. Clock Tower Kid clasped her hands to her chest. What do you think it means? Farmer released a sigh. Beats me. Reckoned I was imagining things, but if I ain't the only one seeing these visions.
You gotta go burn down them forests.
I'm gonna commit mass deforestation.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm worried about the others too. The three of us are going to pay everyone a visit, see if we can't find out anything else. Pensive Pierrot stood from his chair. Thanks for the coffee. Moseying on already, are you? Scarecrow rubbed a hand along his jaw, deep in thought. Reckon you ought to head to Bugsy's stage next. It's the closest one to mine.
Bugsy.
That's the plan. Thanks for the lovely tea, Scarecrow, said Clocktower Kid, curtsying. Scarecrow stood and waved as they waded away through the cornfields. Clocktower Kid kept turning around to wave back until he disappeared from sight.
Okay, so I know that this game isn't exactly known for everything making sense and all that, but I'd like to point out that neither of the two stages immediately adjacent to Farmer Ted's stage is Bugsy's stage, which is
Or the town
completely
stage.
opposite his.
Yeah. He's all the way on the other side.
The stage select makes even less sense than it did before.
It
There's not
really
even
does.
merit justification for it.
So the stages aren't all just connected the same way? Nope. For whatever reason, some are easier to get to, depending on where you leave from. Like, it'd be a pain to get to Pensive stage. It'd be a pain to get to Pensive stage from here, but it's super easy to get to his from mine. Clocktower Kid sounded pretty pleased about that. 3 steps ahead, turn left for 7. Streetbeat did his best to remember the way, but a niggling sensation in the back of his mind spoiled his concentration.
Niggling.
It's
What?
it's a word.
I know, but it's just
It's
a
a
weird
word, but
word
it's
that I
one that's-
rarely hear.
It's not a one you should be using very often because it sounds bad.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
it's
it
Bugsy.
does sound pretty bad.
Something bothered him about how Scarecrow said he spent all his time in his rocking chair, but Streetbeat couldn't put his finger on why.
Back at
Bugsy.
it again with the titty shrooms.
I love those things.
The stage changed again. They were in some sort of forest. The air didn't smell like farm soil anymore, but like leaves and tree bark. Trees of all shapes and sizes towered on every side of them, and their feet blossomed beautiful flowers. Clocktower Kid poked at an adorable little mushroom. Its umbrella-shaped cap deflated as out from the folds puffed sweet-smelling spores. After a few seconds, the cap ballooned back out. Cool, huh? I call them aroma shrooms. They smell different depending on the color. She poked and prodded mushroom after mushroom. Curious, Streetbeat decided to try poking one for himself. But before he could, a voice called out from behind them. He spun around and saw a girl of about his age with a shy smile on her face. Hi, Clocktower Kid. I knew it was you as soon as I smelled the aroma shroom. Good to see you too, Pensive. And... The girl, Bugsy, fixed her eyes on Streetbeat. Streetbeat. Nice to meet you. Yeah, same. He gave her a quick dip of his head in greeting. It warms the cockles to see you well, your Bugsiness.
What?
You know,
Okay.
the cockles of your heart.
What is the word choice in this book?
Everything.
Said Pensive Piero, sweeping a bow that would put any court jester to shame. Got nothing to say about that one. What do you think of my
I don't
stage?
want to think about it anymore.
What do you think of my stage, Streetbeat? Said Bugsy, stifling a giggle at the clown's antics. Streetbeat cast his eyes around the forest. It was not
So far, the most unrealistic thing in this book is the fact that anyone thinks that clowns are funny.
Streetbeat cast his eyes around the forest. It was not densely wooded, so there was plenty of sunlight filtering in through the leaves. And, unsurprising for a stage belonging to a kid called Bugsy, the place was crawling with bugs. Beetles, ladybugs, ants, all of them as big as puppies. And there were swarms of niggity too, just like on every other stage. It's nice. I like bugs too. Bugsy grinned and took them on a tour. Grasshoppers, perhaps startled by the group's footfalls, leapt from their path. She showed them her favorite pond, where dragonflies big enough for a person to ride on glided gracefully across the surface. There were even spiders, which Streetbeat expected most girls would loathe. Their lacy webs were not sticky at all, he found, but melted like snow under his touch. The The webs aren't for catching anything, explained Bugsy eagerly. Here on my stage, I wanted all the bugs to live together in harmony. That means no one is anyone else's snack. Streetbeat thought that was sweet, but something else was weighing on his mind. He expected no less for a girl called Bugsy to populate her stage with a bunch of, well, bugs, but there was one species missing. He'd not seen a single butterfly since arriving. His curiosity had ballooned since that realization, but something told him he shouldn't bring it up. I
The
mean,
one and only bug species out of millions that's missing is butterflies.
Okay, I'd like to point out, this gear is not working here.
what?
So I might know why that is, and it's because fucking there's a larger gear costume.
My God.
What?
I don't know why.
There's
don't know why.
two?
There's
I
mean,
hate
there's
this
three pounding.
fucking game.
yeah, there's 3
costumes.
pounding things. There's pounding pig, there's the robot, and then what else is there that did the same thing?
God.
Fucking
Oh, it's the panda, I think.
no, the panda was just something that used its body weight. Like you would just land on it. It wouldn't be like a dedicated command.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if Bugsy reacts to the word butterfly the same way Clock Tower Kid reacted to cat?
Well, don't say butterfly. It's that easy.
Streetbeat learns about sugar warnings.
Pensive Piero and Clock Tower Kid had known her longer, so they probably knew the deal with Bugsy and butterflies. That would explain why they also refrained from commenting on it. I wonder if they think there's a word they shouldn't say around me, too. But what word would that be?
Dancing.
He wanted to ask about
Despite
it,
the
but
fact that that's the only thing that he talks about.
something told him he shouldn't bring that up either. Instead, he asked if Bugsy had had any visions featuring the grinning man and the girl called Fighter. A smile took flight from Bugsy's face. Yeah, I've seen them. 3 times. I didn't mention it because I didn't want anyone thinking I was weird. Her eyes brushed timidly over each of them. Same reason you never said anything, right? Hiya! Came a woman's voice above them. Streetbeat saw a tall woman, her head wrapped in a bandana, whom he guessed was somewhere in her 30s. With nimble movements, she maneuvered herself down the tree towards them. She had a welcoming smile on her face. Streetbeat stared at her. You must be Watcher of the Woods. Yep, but you can
What
just
a
call
long ass name.
You can just call me Watcher. Wonderful to meet you, Streetbeat. She clapped a friendly
If we
hand
had
on his
normal names,
shoulder.
you wouldn't have to call me that, but
You're getting good at the name thing, said Pensive Piero, smiling. Why are you called Watcher of the Woods? Wish I
She
knew.
watches the woods, jackass.
Idiot.
She tilted her head to one side, thinking, maybe it's because I spend all day patrolling the trees. What are you patrolling for? To make sure nothing bad or anything happens. Watcher snorted. Though it's not like anything bad ever happens in Wonderworld. Pensive Piero frowned.
correction, the game happens.
I don't know about that. There's something we wanted to ask you, Watcher. Seeming to glean the gravity of the situation from the clown's tone, she said, let's talk about my treehouse.
The gravity of the situation from the clown's tone. Literally every time they refer to him solely by his profession, it just removes any source of tension.
I love it.
Clown.
The
The
clown.
clown's tone.
Let's talk
Oh,
about
I
my
didn't want to end the
treehouse.
stage yet. Fuck. It's fine.
Streetbeat and the others climbed up after her, putting their hands and feet in the same place as Watcher put hers. Higher and higher they went, and higher still, until the entire forest spread out beneath them. Streetbeat knew they were climbing one of many gigantic arbors, but from
I really cannot emphasize enough how much hearing the name Street Beat over and over again just takes me the fuck out of it. Like the point of writing is supposed to suck you into this world that is exclusively illustrated by words, more or less. That's a pretty loose definition of it. But when you're breaking any semblance of universe or whatever, when you have a character whose name is fucking Street Beat, Whatever. Continue.
Here, I thought you were going to comment on the use of gigantic arbors.
I
But-
must
Yeah.
have missed that. What?
This book did go a little hard with the thesaurus, it seems.
Yeah, I feel like part of that might be due to the process of translating, maybe,
Mm.
or it could have just been really shittily written to begin with.
Which do you think is more likely?
I'm like genuinely, as a genuine answer to the question, probably the former of just being a really weird translation. Like, I do think that there's some semblance of things, but like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't click. It does not click. I needed a couple more runs in the editing machine, and it didn't get any.
Editing machine broken.
Editing
Big
machine
machine.
broke.
From up here, it was impossible to tell just how high above the ground they were, or even how much further the tree towered into the sky. He remembered watching a line of ants scampering up a tree by the side of a road once and felt as tiny as they had been. He had to hand it to Watcher for creating something so incredible, but at the same time he noticed something missing. He couldn't keep his curiosity lidded. "Pensive," he whispered. "There aren't any birds." Hushed the clown, putting a finger to his lips. "You probably know this already, but pointing out what's different about someone else's stage is bad manners." "So there's like a rule against it or something? Who decided that?" "It's not something anyone decided, so to speak. We just can't talk about it." Up until now, Streetbeat thought everyone could change their stages to be whatever they wanted, that everyone lacked for nothing and spent their time exactly as they wished. But maybe that isn't true. Okay, so that means there's something different, something missing from my stage too. Maybe, maybe not. I've never been to your stage, so I wouldn't know, Pensive Piero mumbled. Watcher's treehouse was something else. Streetbeat could tell it had been constructed very carefully to avoid damaging the tree in which it was built. Inside, there was a small table and a cozy bed. "Sorry I couldn't build the tree houses any bigger without risking hurting the trees. Still, it's just the right size for one person, don't you think? That said, I know it doesn't leave much room for chairs, so pull up some floor." Watcher perched on the side of her bed. Pensive Piero sat in the opposite corner, and Clock Tower
Bird,
Kid...
like a bird does.
Ah...
Uh,
and Clock Tower Kid and Streetbeat sat beside him. The three of them took up the entire floor of the treehouse. Clock Tower Kid sat squished beside the clown. "Sorry again. I know. Sorry again. I know it's a squeeze." "Not at all," said Pensive Piero. "It's a lovely treehouse. Now, to the matter at hand." He took a breath. "Are you here to ask about the visions?" Watcher's words caught Streetbeat off guard.
Literally everyone has only one thing to talk about.
"How did you know?"
Such a fucking slog of an intro.
Hmm.
We're gonna go through all 12
Yeah,
words.
we
very
have to
we
introduce...
are. We're gonna go through all 12 words and talk about the same thing over and over again.
We have to introduce every single character before the book proper can begin. We're already on
Oh,
page
This
fucking
is how you
56.
write.
How many
Good morning,
pages
50
are
pages, eh?
there?
237.
200. Jesus Christ.
Why?
How do you even have that much to say about this game?
If they say it 12 times in a row.
Oh, Christ. The entire first half of this book is just going to be repeating, "Hey, have you seen any visions?" They're like, "Yeah, there was a big man in a top hat and a girl and also some other thing that deals with my trauma." And
It feels like it was written for a grade 10 short story contest.
Oh my god.
Mm,
Well, it felt a short story contest. It's rather long.
Oh fuck.
Just like the game, it overstays its welcome.
oh, well, it's certainly giving me the Balan Wonderworld experience.
AKA bad.
Yeah.
It's not even like comically bad the way the game itself is. It's just kind of a slog.
Meandering.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't exactly vet the thing before
I mean, if
started.
you want, you can kind of skim through the
No,
most of it.
it's fine. I mean, we're just
No,
chilling.
I'm speaking like genuinely. Like it is, if we want to get the most interesting bits from this fucking book, I'm not opposed to just kind of skipping around. Also, Violet, I will rip out your throat.
Yeah, no, right. I'm not dissing a 12-page short story. I'm dissing a 200-page short story.
250.
Fuck. Why did I even bother?
Goodbye, sheep.
Wait, what the fuck?
It's 250 pages, Fridge Turtle.
Yes, it is long. It is not a short story, even a little bit.
It's a full light
Wow.
novel.
Yep. It is still a light novel, technically. I believe. I might be mistaken in the definitions of that.
I think light novel is less about length and more about like kanji usage.
Yeah, it's about
Hmm.
the alphabet that you use to write it in. I know. Okay, so
Keep
I
fucking going, I guess.
I might just start skimming through this bit until we get past
Get to the actual
Kingdom
plot.
Hearts 2 ass
There's a
prologue.
plot.
Yeah, I haven't even played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I know how bad the opening is. Where it's just like, why do we need to do all of this?
Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna start skimming through it. So, Watcher of the Woods.
Oh man, yeah, you're gonna have to stop and find the names of every character though, because it's essential that we learn what their fucking weird ass code names are.
Didn't we get them all in the intro
Yeah,
pages?
they were
That's
all
true.
in the character
I
bios
like
at the
hearing
beginning,
them
but I
again.
didn't know those were gonna be their actual names.
Again, I do feel like part of it is down to the fucking localization and translation of things, and just
Watcher.
Does that mean we're gonna have to call a character like Lady of the Twilight Sun for 100 pages?
Yeah.
I think
Something
she
like
just
that.
gets called Lady or
Fuck.
something.
Oh my god, what's those platforms?
they were all angled too.
Disgusting.
I fucking hate this.
You should just, I don't know, bring Double Jumper more places. It's extremely useful. You
Well,
can just jump down there.
I only have so many left is the problem.
Oh,
And I'm trying to conserve them a little bit until I get back to World 2.
Yeah. So Watcher sees a vision of a girl called Fighter and a grinning man on top hat and some sort of giant, terrible beast.
hmm.
Any idea what it could mean? Not a clue.
Just as planned.
Uh,
Boy.
where are you headed next? To see Sentinel of the City? Yes.
Sentinel of the City.
Yes,
Oh,
Clock Tower
I
Kid.
forgot about that.
His stage is closest from here and all. I'll come with you, said Watcher, leading the way out of the treehouse. I want to make sure he's okay. Dusk lingered over the city and Sentinel stage. It reminded Streetbeat of the town in his own stage, except there were lights on in all the windows, and inside he caught sight of people going about their evening.
Was it not on fire yet?
Sentinel
Not
of the
yet.
City sounds like the title of a Stephen King novel.
A little bit.
On the opposite side of the street, a tall, muscular man with close-cropped hair returned the wave, calling, "Sup?" With a name like Sentinel, Streetbeat had thought he would look a little more imposing or something, but he was dressed in a
But
regular
he was
old
actually a bitch.
he was dressed in a regular old shirt and jeans, just like Watcher.
Because he's actually a bitch. That's
Mhm.
afraid of being a firefighter, despite the fact that that's his chosen path. Remember that one time when I used this costume and I just fucking zipped all the way over? I remember that. That was when I was having a good time with this game.
You having a good time with this game?
You know what? Yeah, that's a reasonable point.
Hmm.
No!
Oh,
That was my
you
last fucking
kidding
spider
me?
Oh
costume.
no!
Warping to the exit. Actually, wait, can I even just? No, I don't. I can't get that fucking. No, I probably can use the fucking frog. I'm gonna try the frog.
ugly.
Look,
This fucking video game never ceases to amaze. For better or for worse.
nothing like
So-
Balan Wonderworld.
Street Beat wonders if Sentinel and Watcher are related somehow.
What the fuck?
You two seem close. We are. It's easy to get to one another's stage. Plus, there's the whole thing with our names being similar. Guess that's why she and I hit it off. We hang out all the time. I'm really not sure what to just skip through in this.
Hmm.
Since Clock Tower Kid and Pensive Piero don't have anything in common, and Kid's not happy about that.
Sucks to be her.
Oh
Talking
my
about the
god, they
names
were
for like 3
roommates.
pages.
No,
They
none
keep
of us.
fucking talking about names. Like, shut up.
None of us even understand why we know
Oh,
our
wait.
names like
Oh.
we do.
Lance is
Yeah,
back.
we know. You told us that like 3 times.
And then they begin to recount the visions they'd each experienced.
Because of course they do.
Grinning man in a top hat, girl called Fighter, and the man that looks like me. Someone that
Ugh.
looks like you? Yeah, it really bugs me. Every time I see him, I get this really awful feeling. Sentinel's shoulders sagged. I hate it. Before the visions, I never had anything to worry about. I could patrol
Oh my god,
city-
is he talking about the fucking fire hydrant?
I could patrol my city in peace, happy as a clam. I think it's strange that would need to change, said a voice from behind them. Streetbeat turned and saw Lance, an oddly grave expression on his handsome face. Lance? What's wrong? Lance sighed. I came here to tell you, these things you do, you really don't have to. Just like on Clock Tower Kid's stage, Streetbeat couldn't help feeling he had done something wrong. He explained to Lance what was going on. Are we not allowed to investigate?
Listen up, you little lout. If you keep fucking around, you're going to find out. Basically, what I'm getting there is just, hey, stop trying to figure out the shit that I'm like doing.
They were
Oh.
nearby stage mate.
Oh my god, they were nearby stage mates.
Are we not allowed to investigate what's happening to Wonderworld? No, dear friend, there's no such decree. Lance tilted his head. I told you before, you'll never hear commands from me. Your happiness is my only wish, my greatest satisfaction, so I can't help but worry over your course of action. Why? Will it get in the way of us being happy? Lance brushed his long hair back with his fingers. Indeed, I fear that may be the case. I can see it written all over your face. The more clues you seek to uncover, the more unpleasant horrors you'll discover. But-
Because this
Like
place is
losing
actually
at
really
chess.
shitty.
But I don't think any of us will feel better until the visions stop, pressed Streetbeat. I want to find out what's causing them. Well, if nothing I say can dissuade you, then there's nothing I can do but aid you.
Lance is Gruntilda. I hate that you're right.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Gomez, you're right.
Those
Gruntilda
are like
runs better than
funny
this.
though.
If you ever find yourselves in trouble, call for me, and I'll be there on the double. Lance let out another sigh, then turned on his heels and disappeared down the street. What should we
On
do?
the street beat?
Street beat.
Beat his way down the street.
Yeah, plus, yeah, Gruntilda came off as cheesy on purpose. This feels like it's trying to be charming and completely friendly.
It's yeah. Also, I know that the biggest complaint that I have about the costumes being limited is when I need to use them in other stages and I don't have them, and I can't go back to get more of them. Because even in this world, the Act 3 stages, they imply that you're going to be using the same costumes from the previous levels, but they don't give you any more of them. So I'm now entirely out of sheep and acrobat, except for the one sheep that I have in my inventory right now, and it's just that's really frustrating.
Absolutely
Bad
incredible.
game design.
Yeah, it's really bad game design, as a matter of fact.
I can't take that Amadeus costume. It kills me.
What?
Which costume?
Amadeus.
Fucking
Oh,
hair.
Oh, that
It's
one.
the hair in combination with the fucking
That
piano
fucking
keys.
piano skirt is so
Mhm.
funny.
It's really good.
Amadeus.
I miss having Aircat.
I don't know about the rest of you, Streetbeat said, but my mind's made up. I want to meet everyone else here in Wonderworld and figure out who
Yeah,
Fighter
bullshit
and that
around.
grinning man in the top hat are. And why the rest of you all see something else, but all I ever see is the two of them. The one time I had my vision. Jeez.
Because your worst nightmare is there being nothing there at all.
Sorry.
I just saw the whale in the background, and I was reminded of when I actually enjoyed this stage the first time through.
Ah.
Like, I genuinely had some degree of fun when I was first playing the stage.
Do you remember what happiness feels like?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
anymore.
Are there any mysterious, gigantic people in any of these stage 3s?
Nope, we've solved their problems.
Oh, God. That was...
Us and us alone.
It feels surprisingly empty, actually.
There's not even the dancing dudes.
Yeah, the dance.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah!
Here.
That I didn't really process until now, but yeah, that's super weird.
It's so quiet. It's creepy.
I mean, the fact that we don't get audio is also affecting how quiet it is.
Yeah, that might be part of it. But like,
But yeah, you're right. It does
Oh,
feel weirdly lonely
shit, you're
without
right.
them.
I had a music playlist going and it paused a long time ago and I didn't even notice.
I never
All
thought
right,
I'd miss the weird dancers, but now I do.
at least
I
we
think
have
I might,
him.
just for the sake of speeding up exploration a little bit, I might actually do a little bit of costume grinding, which I can't believe that's a sentence I have to say
Costume grind.
for the earlier stages.
Just everything about this game is bad design decision after bad design decision. It's insane.
It's really come to a head at this stage, honestly.
Sorry, but you'll have to count me out, said Watcher with a shake of her head. Talking to Lance has me all sorts of worried about my forest now. I need to get back on my patrol. I need to stay in my city too. Stoic expression turned Sentinel's face stony as he glanced around the streets. Someone has to protect it. As he followed Sentinel's gaze down the street, Streetbeat realized what was missing from the stage. Fire hydrants. The only reason he noticed was because he'd just created one on his own stage. Otherwise, the detail may well have escaped him. But
Okay, you know what? I'll give it that. That's actually a reasonable way to come across that observation. Like that's somehow managed to make it work.
but he knew he probably shouldn't say anything about it. Streetbeat had always believed Wonderworld was a land of freedom and happiness, but now he was starting to think it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
Yeah, you've said that like 5 times now.
We'll let you know as soon as we find anything, said pensive Piero to the two staying behind, and waved farewell. Sky Gazer. What are we halfway through the cast now?
Oh, we might
Please
be.
be.
Jesus Christ. This is very much reminding me of my own writing process where I just kind of put everything in stream of consciousness, and I tend to repeat myself a lot, but I like go back and edit it afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying the same thing 10 times. It's like they did that stream of consciousness writing, but forgot to go back and edit.
I do think part of it is also down to just how we make or how we write and how many more words it takes. I don't know enough about light novel kanji or light novels kanji or the Japanese language as a whole to really speak for it, but it's just something that it could be a possibility. I don't fucking know.
I've heard a couple light novel transitions before. They are not in this way.
I've read some light novels. I've read ReZero before and stuff, and like, I do think part of it is just that this is just for kids, and they're trying to be very over the top to make sure the kids understand, because this entire thing so far has been oversimplification and smashing it in your head with the skull, or smashing it into your skull with a hammer, and they just seem to think children are very stupid and won't understand unless they say the same thing 12 times.
I am so sorry. I thought this would at least be more fun than it ended up being.
I mean, honestly,
well, I'm having a good
learning
time making fun of it.
how weird and stupid it is just as entertaining as it's honestly more interesting than what I'm playing right now, because it's just more of the same shit.
I'm not having a bad time with it. It's like there's a lot to complain about, but complaining about bad things is fun. So
yeah.
All right.
I'm having a good time hating this with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason I wanted to return to this game, specifically so that we could go through the novel at whatever the fuck.
Okay, so they're now in the exact same place that you are.
Yeah, the Skywatcher, right? Or Sky...
Sky
Spotter?
Gazer.
Gazer. Sky Gazer Beam.
Honestly.
Say joke. Gazer Beam. Whoa, fridge.
That is the first time I've ever seen that animation in a hot second.
Yeah, there's no checkpoints in 3 stages, right?
Yeah. Or there's like some, but there's not enough. And on top of there just not being enough of them, there's also, there's no additional dudes just hanging out. Back at it again with the Fox Box.
Oh no.
Yeah, baby.
Fox!
The
Best
only
tier costume, everyone.
ever.
Have you found an actual use for this thing yet?
There's one, and it's on the platform where I got it.
Great.
But it's sliding into spiky enemies on a slope, I think. If I understood that area correctly, which it is entirely possible I didn't.
That is extremely situational.
Yeah, most of the when it feels like it costumes have one purpose, is to my understanding, where there's just like one instance where you actually use them.
I feel like that can be said about like half the costumes in this game.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, I have been guzzling water because because I've been reading this whole time and talking, so I'm just gonna be right back if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, use the bathroom. I love how the Tims are more effective at combat than I am sometimes.
Good.
See, Foxbox would be actually like useful if there was like if there was another version of it that you would get later that let you do it on command. Because like, okay, so I know what most
extra costume for that
useful.
I've seen some of the extra costumes. So like for example, I know that there's the bigger king gear, but that's just like a better version of something that we already have. So it's like, and it's just really dumb and bad, but that's to be expected. But when it comes, I know one of the costumes, I believe it's the one in World 6, whichever one the birds are in, the same one that has Lucky Egg. It's a costume called Lucky Bird, I think it is, or like Lucky Chick or something, but it's basically saying like, hey, it's the adult form of that egg, and it has the same item sucking effect, but you don't lose it when you drop, which is just the same costume, but better. And honestly, I don't think that that's the worst idea if it's something that's harder to get. But also there's the fact that you can't fucking use costumes, like you can't, like they're finite resources for the most part. Like you can technically grind for them, but like it's really inconsistent and hard to tell how you actually go about doing that. I wouldn't mind costume grinding as much if I could just get the costumes to fucking appear when I need them to.
Maybe I give the drops thing to use. Make them like a shop where you can buy them after you clear the level.
Yeah, with the drops that have no other fucking
Exactly,
purpose.
yeah.
Like, even fucking... What's his face? Moneybags from Spyro is less, or is more practical with, How the fuck am I supposed to do this? Is this an actual puzzle? Am I about to have an actual puzzle?
This game?
Imagine that.
Big if too.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Good to be back. All right.
Are you sure?
You're right. It's debatable.
There's nothing good about Balan Wonderworld.
There's like a couple good cutscenes.
The dancing the first time you see one.
Yes.
Clock Tower Kid and Pensive Piero started walking straight for the cliff, though Streetbeat couldn't see anyone in that direction. He followed after them. "Don't tread on me, Clock Tower Kid," came a voice from their feet, startling Streetbeat. Splayed in the grass was a bespectacled boy who looked like he could be in high school. Streetbeat guessed that since he could talk, he must be the stage master. "Silly, I'd never step on you. You're always lying in the same place." "What are you doing?" asked Streetbeat. "What's it look like, Streetbeat? Living up to my name and gazing at the sky." Skygazer stretched out his hand without getting up from his prone position. Streetbeat took his hand and shook it. "Is that all you ever do?" "Yep."
Pretty much.
"Don't you get bored?" "Nope. There's a nice breeze, and plenty of clouds come drifting by to entertain me. Cumulonimbus, Cumulus, Nimbostratus, Cirrocumulus, Cirrostratus
Oh
are
my
my
god,
favorite.
what a fucking nerd!
I hate all of these characters.
Cirrostratus are my favorite. I like the way you can see the sun haloing through them.
Fucking nerd!
What about when the breeze stops and there aren't any clouds? Oh, I love a good clear sky. The longer you look at it, it changes color ever so slowly. And for some reason, when I look out at where the sky and sea meet, my heart swells so full I could cry.
You know what?
Beat-
Good for this kid. Good. I'm glad he can enjoy himself.
Streetbeat gazed out over the water. Out in the sea was an oddly shaped island. As he looked out at it, its name materialized in his head. Is that Cetacean Island? Clock Tower Kid stared at Streetbeat in shock. "Hey, it's not just people you can name now." "What's on that island?" Skygazer let slip a snicker. "Who knows?" Then he ate the snicker.
Make the story more
Not you when
interesting.
you're hungry. Is that how they're gonna solve the bosses in this, by giving them Snickers?
Oh fuck yeah, here we go.
It's actually a sponsorship.
Didn't you create it? Nope. I made everything else here, but I had Lance make that island. I mean, where's the fun in knowing every single detail about your stage? I wanted someplace
He heard
mysterious.
exposition by the voice in his head. You know what? That's actually the most accurate description of this fucking novel. I hate that. You're right. Fuck.
God. I love the color of the sky.
wanted someplace mysterious. Somewhere even I can't go. Clock Tower Kid tilted her head. You're weird. What's so great about not knowing something? She may not have understood, but Streetbeat thought he got where Skygazer was coming from. The bespectacled teenager stretched a hand toward the sky. Cetacean Island, the sky, they're both so far away, you couldn't reach them if you... His hand froze. Surprised, Streetbeat glanced back down at him. The teenager's eyes were unblinking. His teeth gritted as beads of sweat slipped down his face.
He was
After-
dissociating. He let him be for a little bit, and then he was fine.
Damn, bitch. Me too.
After a while, Skygazer seemed to recover from the paralysis. His hand went... he went limp, his hand flopping to his chest. You just saw something, didn't you? A vision. Skygazer paused. So you've seen them too, then? Yeah. Unease clouded Skygazer's vision. Yeah. Fighter, grinning man top hat, and this machine. I don't know what it was. It was a big...
It's a bicycle.
It's a big jumble of spinning gears and whirring drill teeth, and it was flying right toward me. Skygazer wiped the sweat off his face.
It's the fucking boss. It's their inner demons.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck.
I think I put that together on the last one, but
Wasn't Farmer Ted's boss a big wolf? Why are you seeing dancing trees?
that's
Don't
yeah,
worry
that's
about
what.
it.
I think the dancing trees is the fucking warpy things at the end of the stage. The funky, with the fucking garbled ass whatever the fuck in it. What fucking stage am I going in?
Yeah. Then recap. Everybody sees some weird monster in their dream. Streetbeat sees jack shit. We're worried about everyone. I'm worried about Sea Gazer. I knew you would be, said Clock
Dolphin
Tower
lady.
Kid, smiling. You two are best friends, huh? Yeah,
Best
I don't know why, but I feel like the two of us are really similar, even though we don't have a single thing in common. I mean, Sea Gazer's really cool, and I'm just plain and boring.
I'm a fucking nerd.
You'd be
It's
less
good.
boring if you stopped talking about clouds.
You know,
Okay.
thinking about the actual like cutscene that we got in the stage, I can't actually think of any immediate comparison between the two. What the fuck is their relationship or like
Yeah.
similarity?
They both have Gazer in their name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what?
That's it.
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
I gaze at the sky. I gaze at the sea. Are we friends now?
Did we just become best friends?
And then Skygazer fucking books it. Their names were similar and their stages were close together. Streetbeat thought there must be something connecting them, even if they themselves did not realize it yet. Yeah, just pretty much just the names, isn't it? They don't have anything in common in the game.
They
They
were
really don't.
both scared of continuing their hobby.
That's everybody.
Yeah, that's like half the characters in this fucking game.
I'm just trying to think of something, man.
I think it's mostly just we were neighbors.
They were neighbors.
Oh my god, they were
neighbors.
neighbors.
Everyone in sync just immediately.
Sea Gazer. A girl with her long hair pulled back in a ponytail sat on a beach, blanketed in shore bindweed. There's that again. What the hell is that?
I'm googling that.
Her
'Cause,
eyes
like,
on
they
the
say
waves.
it so surely, like it has to be a thing, right?
Maybe? I guess? Hmm.
Why are all the statues in the Act 3 of Stage 3 past the fucking finish line?
To trick you.
Apparently, there's a whole bunch of bindweed.
Oh, arbor is just a fancy name for woods. It's Latin.
It's a morning glory.
Share a picture didn't remind me of what the fuck that is.
It's like a white flower, isn't it?
Oh, those things. I think I remember that now. I think this is the worst stage that I've played so far. Like out of the Act 3s, this stage has just been a lot of bullshit and just nothing. Like there's no objectives that I can find. And despite my best efforts, and it's just whatever.
The objective is to drive you mad.
Apparently.
Doing a good job of it.
Your body and enter the real world.
I mean, not like I'm helping.
Yeah, learning, quote unquote, learning the plot of this game is driving me crazier than anything that I could have found in this game.
Oh, can you imagine learning the plot of the game in the game?
Couldn't
true.
be Yuji Naka. Oh man, it occurs to me I haven't done any of these all night.
Caramba! I came in with this a lot of hair on the floor. Here, I'll go clean up.
Thank you.
Oh god.
It's a fucking good sound effect.
Skygazer rushed over to him. As if she sensed him coming, Seagazer turned her head slowly to face him. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Why wouldn't I be?" I mean, because... Never mind, no reason.
You died.
Pretty sea today, as usual. Isn't it? Agreed Seagazer in gentle delight. "Oh, hello, Street Beat. Wonderful to meet you."
I cannot express enough how fucking stupid that name is. It's just the worst.
Though she was of a sunnier disposition than Skygazer, Street Beat got the same vibe from her as he did from the bespectacled teenager. Skygazer
Violet's
had been right.
comment
They really were
is
similar.
fucking great. You know, I think the fact that there's no dialogue in this game is actually a sign of Yuji Naka's mercy. Yuji Naka is anything but merciful at this point. I didn't
Yuji
get a
Naka
single-
wants you to suffer. You
This is-
personally.
This whole Balan thing is just an experiment to see how far we can push people to like, go insane.
Oh god, well it's working. I feel insane.
Oh, if Balan opened his mouth and actual words came out, I'm not sure how I would react.
He very nearly did. The one time they gave him subtitles in the
He just
penultimate
"Yoo-ha,
cutscene,
us
but
a-doing,"
not
and-
the final cutscene, just the one before it.
Batui!
Yeah, he says Batui.
To Clara Tui! God, I wish these fucking stages were in numerical order. It would make things so much easier.
Okay. Yeah.
Enter stage. Aye.
Okay, so their names are similar, therefore they're friends. The kid's angry about this again, because her name's nothing like Piero's. Breakbeat smiles, everyone makes a big deal of this. Okay,
Street Beat shows having a personality for the first time.
Mhm.
This
Oh
is
my
news.
god.
Seagazer's vision is, oh, you know, and also a horrifying sea monster trying to kill her.
A dolphin.
Yeah.
Well, the boss
See
of the first
that?
stage
See,
was an
for
octopus.
that one, I could easily understand if someone interpreted it as being a dolphin. Wait,
They
wait,
have yet to mention
wait.
anything about dolphins in this story.
hold on.
Well,
Wait,
this-
I'm about to make sense out of this fucking game's level design.
Big if true.
Impossible.
I know.
a thing
That's what
you
I
can do?
thought. If I can find a... See, at first I thought this was a similar looking pit that someone showed off in a review where they just were soft locked. Because it was this pit. It was this pit. There was a key, and then there's no costume in this particular pit. And unless you have the spider, you can't get out. And they got caught in it as the cutter guy. and they couldn't leave. And then, but I'm trying to find the cutter guy because there's a thing. There's a chance that maybe I could cut the spider webs with the thing instead of getting caught in it. And I was like, oh, that would be nice. Then also it would require me to, do a balance bout after that. So.
Oh no! No!
No.
It could be. It's a punishment after all, I think.
Have you still won?
Punishment time.
I've gotten a handful of them, but none of them on stream, and that's the reason I was so determined earlier.
I mean, even if you do get the balance bout in there, how do you? You still can't leave, right?
Yeah, it
if I
doesn't look like
didn't
there's
have
another exit.
Yeah, because the thing is at the bottom of this particular pit is a spider costume.
Oh, that's the other
believe.
bit. Okay.
The pit on the
okay.
other side of here, like
Yes,
But
that's
what
right.
if you don't have a key?
then you'd probably still be fucked.
Well, the Tims will probably bring you a key eventually.
Oh, well, yeah, because the key's nearby enough that I could see that happening, but that doesn't mean that it was intentional. That's just a fucking fluke. No, give me one. Give me one of you. Give me one of you.
Design.
What determines when you can absorb their beings and such? Because that's happened like twice, but with no
I still
regularity.
can't tell.
Okay, so there's 4 people left that they have to meet.
Are we like halfway through the book?
We are on 68 of 237, 22% of the way through.
Oh my god.
Did you have a calculator pulled up, or was that just mental math?
No, Kindle has a percentage at the bottom of the page.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, what kind of savant am I talking to?
Quarter of the way through.
Yeah, and the plot hasn't even started yet. Well,
Oh my god. It started, it just isn't going anywhere.
well, so much for that idea.
I think I might have another one. It's still not a good idea, and it's still not a very clear objective, but, I'm trying to make my own fun at this stage. It's not coming easy, but,
Seagazer must have created the
There's
ocean
a
on her
fucking
stage
statue
because she
right,
liked it.
right goddamn here.
Incredible.
I don't need them for anything other than that, but just fucking, I might as well try.
Streetbeat thought it was strange that she never even went into the water. So how many people are left? 4, although one of them we only think is there since we've never actually met, said Pensive Piero. Also, you might want to brace yourself a bit before we go to the next stage. This master can be a bit, well, much for someone like you. Why's that? Oh, you'll see when you meet her, said the clown with a short laugh. Clock Tower Kid took her mirror out of her pocket. And
Tim's
started
not
fussing
now,
with her
I'm
hair.
trapped! Tim's, please! I'm trapped! Stop bouncing on the trampoline and help me!
I look away for 1 minute.
Ah, thank fuck!
Oh my god.
You're like a statue.
Imprisoned in Tim
Oops.
jail.
Is she someone who cares a lot about
Naughty
appearances?
boys get put in the shroom jail.
That's true, and they might have a tough time getting along. But Pensive Piero continued snickering. Streetbeat was still wondering what kind of person he was about to meet when the clown knocked on the front door. Checking back on the previous page, and there is no mention of any house approaching at any point. They're just suddenly at a door. Madam of the Mansion. A man.
Oh, I think this is the fucking painter.
A man dressed in a
terrifying painter
butler's
lady.
uniform opened the door. Welcome, he began, but was quickly pushed aside by a plump woman, Madam of the Mansion. Darlings! Absolutely marvelous to have you on my stage! She beamed as bright as her clothing, ushering them all inside. You must be Street Beat! Somehow he had ended up front and center. He tried to take a step back behind the others. Yeah, nice to meet you. Lovely to see you, all of you. It's always such a pleasure. My, I can't recall the last time I hosted such a large soiree. We shall need tea and nibbles, of course, both of which I have an ample supply, and then we can simply chat the day away. She spoke so quickly as she guided them through the mansion that Streetbeat could barely tell where one sentence ended and the other began. The butler bowed and strode off in another direction, most likely to fetch them drinks and snacks. Or nibbles, I guess. Madam of the Mansion kept her arm around Streetbeat's shoulders as she led them through her home. It was hard to tell if she was always this friendly, or if she was just especially keen on new acquaintances. Her house was everything he could have expected from her name. All sorts of furnishings crowded the rooms. The console tables were decorated in beautiful vases and elaborate handicrafts. Exquisite tapestries hung on the walls, and finely detailed carpets ran the length of the floors. Curtains bearing colorful floral designs framed the windows. The obvious high quality of everything on display impressed Streetbeat, even if none of it was exactly to his taste. Gotta have that in there somewhere.
This dude's just never happy with anything.
I fucking got one, boys.
You got one?
Oh,
Holy shit!
And we weren't paying attention. All of the book.
Honestly, I don't blame you. That's the only way I would have been able to get it.
We'll start with some tea and cookies before the main meal. Then we'll be able to chat as long as we like. Sit, darling, sit, said Madam of the Mansion, flapping her hands
This
at
is
them
not
as if to
an
push
option.
them down
This is
onto
a
the sofa.
demand. You will sit.
She, on the other hand, could not seem to sit still. Her movements were expansive, her stream of chatter endless. Now Streetbeat understood why
Movements
Pensive
were
Piero had suggested
expansive.
he brace himself. All of a sudden,
Oh, good.
Madam of the Mansion got a vision. Let's see. Oh, this isn't the.
Oh, you're okay. That's what I thought.
Okay, sure. All of a sudden, Madam of the Mansion froze. Shh! She pressed a finger to her lips, pointing to a corner of the room. Can you see them? The three of them turned to see what she was pointing at. Streetbeat stared and squinted, but couldn't see anything. Yet he could sense the presence of something. They're gone. Madam of the Mansion let out a shaky sigh of relief. They're gonna use her full name every time, aren't they?
They just
Oh,
call
no.
you madam?
Clock Tower Kid clutched
Ma'am.
Pensive Piero's sleeve. I didn't see anything, but I could tell something was there. What did you see, Madam of the Mansion? I'm not entirely certain myself, darling. Some sort of fuzzy creatures. Not negative. These creatures are all sorts of different colors. They've started
Oh,
appearing
God, the
every now
Tims.
and then on my stage, and some of them were on
This is
Checkered
Tims.
Kings the last time I checked too. There, Tims.
Yay, Tim's. The only
But-
good part.
But I only got a brief glimpse of them, so I thought I was just seeing things and didn't mention it to him last time. Something is happening to Wonderworld. Streetbeat and the others brought Madam of the Mansion up to speed. They saw the vision of Fighter and the Grinning Man. Also, a wall in her vision.
Oh,
Pitch
her
black.
fucking right artist block.
It was pitch black and coming right at me like it meant to squish me flat. Something's definitely happening to Wonderworld. Go talk to Checkered King. Oh, she's coming too. Okay.
Probably because they are like companions or something. I don't fucking know.
Checkered King. Checkered King's stage was a town straight out of the Middle Ages. Streetbeat couldn't tell if the passersby were artisans or merchants, but all of them were dressed in medieval garb. There were lots of kids playing too. Judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, Streetbeat surmised Checkered King must be a fantastic ruler. Streetbeat, Madam of the Mansion, and the others made for the king's castle. At the gate, they were met by an armored guard. Hail, Masters Clock Tower Kid, Pensive Piero, Madam of the Mansion, and who might this be? Pensive Piero turned over to Streetbeat. to explain. The people we create on our stages aren't capable of knowing our names, so you'll have to introduce yourself. Oh, he said, I'm Streetbeat, I guess. Be most welcome, Master Streetbeat. Be most welcome, one and all. You may enter.
Be most welcome, Master Streetbeat. Be most welcome indeed.
The guard stood at attention and gestured for the four of them to head inside the gate. Considering he was a king and all, Streetbeat expected him to be in a crown and royal robes, but the middle-aged man that came out to greet them wore a simple coat and tie. The woman accompanying him was in a beautiful dress and sparkling tiara. Checkered King clapped a hand to Streetbeat's shoulder. Hello, hello, and welcome to my kingdom, Streetbeat. Allow me to introduce my queen. The queen extended her hand, palm down. Clock Tower Kid nudged an elbow into Streetbeat's side. You're supposed to kiss the royal hand. He did as he was told, taking the queen's hand lightly in his and pressing his lips to the top. Her hand was see-through. He should have guessed the queen was also of Checkered King's creation. You've come at the perfect time. The jousting tournament is about to begin. King Checkerboard led them to the balcony. Grounds below were crowded with soldiers. Trumpets blared. Knights on horseback came trotting into view, some in white armor on white mounts, and others in black armor on black mounts. A priest prayed for heavenly blessings and the safety of the jousters. Who will be our champion? Said Checkered King in excited tones from beside his queen. With a flick of the king's hand, the knights charged. Black and white clashed. Spears clattered against shields.
If you could pause for a second, Mush. Fridge, do you mean the game's audio or my audio? Ahead of the video, because I can fix one of those. Or I can fix both of them, hopefully, but... Okay, so it's slightly ahead of the video? Okay, this might help. Hopefully this changes something. But yeah, okay, you can continue.
Okay. Black and white clash, spears clattered against shields. The sides were evenly matched. No apparent victor emerged. They're here! Cried Madame of the Mansion, pointing. As one, they all turned to follow her finger. This time, Streetbeat saw them. Fuzzy, round somethings, leaping about atop the castle wall. At Madame of the Mansion's...
I can't believe that these are characters in which they are intimidated by the Tims.
The Tims!
But they're so round!
Look
they
at
are
them!
the least threatening thing ever.
Look at these things!
I guess they're moving that fast to be a little bit scary.
I guess if you can't see them and they're just like a weird colorful blob out of the corner of your eye, that'd kind of freak you out.
At Madame of the Mansion's cry, the soldiers began scrambling every which way. The Queen clung to Checkered King. Seize them! Commanded Checkered King. All the knights,
Grab
black and white
those round fuckers!
Black and white alike reared their horses up the stone steps. They closed in on the fuzzy creatures from all sides, but at the very last instant, the colorful furballs vanished. What in the world were those things? I've seen them before, said Madame of the Mansion to the consternated king. Lately they've been pestering me on my stage. That is why we're here, said pensive Piero, and launched into an explanation.
What part of this novel hasn't been an explanation of something?
Oh, God.
Also, let me know if that's slightly better. I think I delayed it sufficiently.
It would be so fucking funny if the Tims were antagonists in this.
Let's see.
To just steal everyone's blood and bones.
My
Visions of a
favorite
grinning man
color
and a
is
girl-
blood.
Yeah.
Him, probably.
Visions of a grinning man and a girl and a golden chalice. It may be the very chalice mentioned in the ancient legends. I ordered my kings to scour the realm, though hitherto none have found it.
The Holy Grail.
Oh, the Fate Stay Night prequel's really weird.
But I am concerned by Lance's warning. The king fell deep into thought. The tournament had started.
It's no problem, Fridge. That's actually good to know. If I don't have Parsec running, that I need to keep it at the default thing. I've just been messing around with the delay on the audio end, and I can easily set it to one or the other. It's just gotta know
Maybe you need the
whether it's
red,
ahead or behind.
Maybe you need the red version of this costume.
That's what I was thinking as well. Fuck. Well, gonna have to go get it anyway.
The tournament had started up again. Clock Tower Kid watched the knights enraptured, but Checkered King stood with his arms folded out across his chest and his eyes shut tight. The queen watched him with a worried look on her face. After a while, the king opened his eyes. I've never given it much thought until now, but I've realized I know next to nothing about Wonderworld. What do you mean? Asked Streetbeat. The king sighed. Everyone is master of their own stage, each fashioning it in whatever way they like. All our stages are different, but they share two things in common. The drops and the negity that appear to take them. Oh, and every so often Lance comes to show us how to improve our stage. Never have I wondered what the drops or the negity are. Neither have I, now that you mention it, said pensive Piero, nodding. And our names. Streetbeat, you said you never even knew you had a name until you met Clock Tower Kid, isn't that right? Likewise for me. The first time I realized I needed a name was when I met Clock Tower Kid, when she brought Madam of the Mansion to visit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to communicate. What do you mean? Asked Clock Tower Kid. Madam of the Mansion looked at Checkered King with unease pinching her face. Wonderworld is the name of this place, right? And we need names in order to distinguish one thing from another. So if this world has a name, it must be to distinguish it from another world. And Checkered King
That's a
trailed
stretch.
And? Prompted Streetbeat. The king shook his head. No, I'm spinning yarn from air. It's an outlandish theory. Forget I said anything. The way he was talking made Streetbeat want to ask more questions, but he kept silent as Checkered King fell back to thinking. Well, we'd better be on our way. Checkered King made to move after them, but the queen took hold of his sleeve. She shook her head, her eyes sorrowful pools. You're right, my dear. My kingdom needs me here. I'm sorry, my friends, but I cannot go with you.
Alright, I'm gonna take a second to request that, just because how Fridge was describing stuff, I'm concerned now, because I want to know if Discord So tonight we're using Discord screen share instead of Parsec to share, because I had an idea that Parsec is what causes my game audio to become slightly delayed from the game feed, so I want to try and see if what I have is fixing it, because it bugged me a lot looking back at the VODs, so I just wanted to, like, I know it's not a huge problem, but it is something that I wanted to try to fix. So if there's any, like, I guess, comparison to be made, just say the word and say if it's a little bit ahead or a little bit behind, and if it's the game audio or my audio, because I want to try resolving this shit once and for all, because it's been something I've been dealing with for quite a while.
I'm sorry, my friends, but I cannot go with you. I'm concerned about my mansion as well. I wish I could go with you, but I must return home, said Madam of the Mansion, her gaze cast downward apologetically.
The contrast in this level is disgusting.
Invisible Custodian.
What a
Whoa.
name.
Streetbeat gazed
An
around the
apt
stage,
name, but still.
which belonged to a man called Invisible Custodian. They stood amidst ancient ruins. Before them stood a giant temple, solemn and silent, blanketed in moss and vines. Flowers blossomed between its cracked stones. Birds flitted about its crumbling archways. Clock Tower Kid started walking toward the temple. This stage is just like yours, Streetbeat. All quiet and pretty. This doesn't look anything like mine. Clock Tower Kid clapped a hand to her mouth. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I said that. Her cheeks reddened in embarrassment, and she sped up away from Streetbeat. He took the chance to look around again. Nothing but Negity picking up drops like always. There were no signs of those fuzzy creatures from before. They came across an older gentleman inside the temple. With a name like Invisible Custodian, Streetbeat had envisioned him wearing a work uniform or something, but he was dressed in a fancy suit. He had a polished cane in one hand, and used the other to doff his dapper hat. Hello, Clock Tower Kid. Pensive Piero. How long has it been? And a pleasure to meet you, Street Beat. Invisible Custodian gave him a gentle smile. Nice to meet you too, Invisible Custodian. How come you aren't, invisible? The man laughed. I've no idea why I have the name I have. The Custodian bit is spot on, at least. I make sure to keep these ruins spick and span. Streetbeat wondered how dirty the ruins could really get with no one living in them, but he kept the thought to himself. Something told him it would have been rude to say. There's something important we came to talk to you about. Visions. Fuzzy creatures. Yeah, I saw fuzzy creatures. He jerked his chin toward the other side of the path, where they saw partially see-through fuzzy somethings. They're getting more and more visible. Clock Tower Kid's hand trembled ever so slightly. Something is happening to Wonderworld. Something big. I don't like the sound of that. Invisible Custodian's brow furrowed. I'm happy with my stage the way it is. Nice and quiet. I'm not keen on that changing. Pensive Piero folded his arms over his chest. I think we need to gather everyone together. He said, we need to talk about this. All of this.
You couldn't have done that from the start.
Yeah, it's been 2 hours. Exactly a quarter of the book. Just... Oh, man. Okay, so... They part ways. Invisible Man goes back home. Hello, you three. Still at it, I see. Streetbeat whirled and saw Lance, who had appeared out of the blue, like always. What are you doing here? To watch in silence I can no longer bear. Please, heed this wisdom I will share. A frown marred his beautiful face. I warned you once, now let me say it twice. If you keep down this path, you will pay a terrible price. We can't just ignore these visions or those fuzzy things. Lance heaved a sigh at Streetbeat's protest. I wish I could make you see how much you all mean to me. Your suffering I'd do anything to prevent, so I beg you, for my sake, relent. What aren't you telling us? Lance shook his head sadly at Pensive Piero. It is best you put that question to rest. You're really stretching for these rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Streetbeat took a step forward. Are you saying we aren't allowed to look for that stage? My permission you do not need. Remember, I do not issue commands for you to heed. I am only concerned your faith in Wonderworld has started to wane. As its maestro, this brings me immeasurable pain. I trust you, Lance, said Clock Tower Kid, fixing him with earnest eyes.
I wouldn't.
You mean a lot to me, too. Oh, my dear. That means so much to hear. His eyes closed as if in relief. Lance, pressed Pensive Piero, we just want to know the truth. Lance combed a hand through his long hair and let out another sigh. Then carry on, if that's the case. The consequences you must face. But not alone, for this I swear. When you need my help, I will be there. At that, Lance turned on his heel and vanished. The exact same phrasing for like the 4th time. Pensive Piero's gaze lingered on where Lance had been. Should we really keep going? He said, folding his arms. I know I told Invisible Custodian we'd search for the last stage, but no one's ever figured out how to get there before. I don't know what makes me think we'll find the way now. Clock Tower Kid pointed at something. Past where Lance had disappeared stood a figure. It's Fighter! She's actually here, in Wonderworld! Fighter, staring at Streetbeat, raised her right hand and pointed at something. The three of them glanced at one another, then took off running toward her. But just when they were about to reach her, she vanished.
I cannot believe that they acknowledged that. Cannot fucking believe they acknowledged that.
Where'd she go? Over there! When they looked where Fighter had been pointing, they saw her standing there. This time she lifted her left hand, pointing somewhere else. Street Beat ran after her as fast as he could. Again, right when he reached out to grab her, she disappeared.
Mush, I'm beginning to realize how it felt to be on the receiving end of the fucking when I was reading the horrible, awful garbage writing of my fiction teacher. Lance reached out his hand tremulously.
Fuck, I was drinking! I think she's showing us the way, said Pensive Piero, gasping as he caught. The way to what? The last stage. It has to be. She must know we're trying to get there. It's a trap, said Clock Tower Kid, her eyes shining with anxiety as they looked at the clown. We won't find out either way if we don't follow her. 3 of them approached Fighter slowly. Oh, screw you, Fridge. The closer they got, the more of her features they could make out. Her outfit looks kind of like Street Beat's. Does it? Again, Fighter pointed. Again, they followed. Again, they disappeared.
Again.
A dozen or so times they repeated this, until they came to the very edge of Invisible Custodian's stage, and everything went white. Lady of the Midnight Sun. Where are we? The stage changed before any of them even realized. They stood somewhere higher up a mountain. Below, they could see nestled a small village. From the forest of conifers surrounding the village, Street Beat judged they must be very high up. This time, Fighter did not point. She only stood with her back to them, gaze intent on the village below. Street Beat ran toward her. This time, she did not disappear. He seized her shoulder. Are you real? I'm as real as it gets. I've been trying to figure out a way to this stage for a long time too. To meet the one everyone sensed but never met. The last person you've been searching for. It hasn't been easy. Lady of the Midnight Sun has closed herself off so much, it was nearly impossible to get here. Even Clock Tower Kid couldn't manage it, and she's normally pretty adept at that sort of thing. Why did you help us? Fighter smiled. Getting you here is part of my job. What job? The one Balan gave me. One of his tests. Who's Balan?
What page are we on?
This is page 81.
Out of
237. 28% of the way through.
We are over a quarter of the way through the book, and the first time that one of the main characters' names have been mentioned is... Whatever.
Who's Balan? The guy in the top hat. You've seen him, right? Anyway, she said, and started walking off. I'd stick around, but I've got something else to take care of. Where are you going? But she vanished without answering. What's her deal? Said Clock Tower Kid, staring at the place Fighter had disappeared. Who knows? But at least we're here. This is the last stage, right? The one you've been trying to find for forever? Let's go meet its master. Lady of the Midnight Sun, I think Fighter called her. At Pensive Piero's suggestion, 3 of them made their way down to the village. Another town just like yours, Street Beat, murmured Clock Tower Kid. He pretended not to hear. He already knew she wouldn't be able to tell him what's made his stage and this one so alike, even if he asked. The sun beamed bright in the sky. Street Beat figured if this stage belonged to someone called Lady of the Midnight Sun, that must mean it never sank below the horizon. By the side of the path bloomed a summer cornucopia of flowers. He figured they must love the endless sunlight. They came to a small park in the village center. On one of the benches sat a woman with long blue hair. She turned slowly toward them as they approached her. I don't recall inviting guests. The faint smile on her face was belied by the coldness in her tone. Street Beat had never seen anyone as beautiful as her. You're Lady of the Midnight Sun, aren't you? Indeed. I don't care to deduce your names, she replied curtly. Street Beat floundered. Oh, I'm Clock Tower Kid, and that's Pensive Piero and Street Beat. Lady of the Midnight Sun's expression turned cross. You aren't going to leave my stage unless I tell you in no uncertain terms, are you? We came because we had to. Pensive Piero stood directly in front of Lady of the Midnight Sun. Something is happening to our stages, yours included. Something bad. Bad enough that I believe all of Wonderworld may be in grave danger. Grave danger? She let out barely a laugh. My stage is unchanged. Nothing has happened here. Are you sure? Streetbeat took a step forward. Have you had visions of a grinning man in a top hat? Or a girl called Fighter? Her expression darkened. So what if I have? All of the stage masters in Wonderworld have seen the same vision. We're trying to find out what it means, even though Lance keeps telling us to stay out of it. Did? Yeah, but that's exactly what has us all so worried. That the Wonderworld we know and love might be destroyed. Pensive Piero pointed a finger to the park's edge, where the fuzzy creatures wriggled and squirmed. I know you can see those things too. How can you look at them and still pretend nothing is wrong? Tims. The Tims.
These things. The true face of terror, evil, and unrest. Good God.
Lady of the Midnight Sun sat on her bench for a long while, unmoving, her eyes closed in thought. But they're all over our stages by now, Pensive. I'm scared to go back, said Clock Tower Kid. The hands clasped at her chest trembled. Pensive Piero lay a hand over hers to still them. When you're ready to go home, I'll go with you. Watching them, Lady of the Midnight Sun sniffed. I'd be devastated if anything happened to my stage, she said. Very well, I will hear you out. Everyone's gathering on Clock Tower Kid's stage. Come on. How exactly? Just follow me, said Clock Tower Kid, and set off walking. Streetbeat and Pensive Piero followed right away, but Lady of the Midnight Sun stayed seated where she was on the bench. After a few moments, she drew herself to her feet and strode after them. TIM stands for Terrifying Infernal Monsters.
Correct.
Boy. By the time they returned to Clock Tower Kid's stage, everyone else was already there. Page 84, the cast is finally gathered.
Good fucking lord.
After exchanging perfunctory greetings, they dove into the matter at hand. What are those little fur balls? You could barely see them even if you squinted before, and now they're getting clearer by the second. Sentinel let out a frustrated sound.
Color.
My mansion is absolutely infested with the dratted things. They jump around as if they own the place. And now they're so distinct, I even know what they're called, said Madam of the Mansion in a tizzy. Tims!
It's just a fucking picture of the boot.
And I've had another vision of the grinning man in the top hat and Fighter, said Watcher. At that, Bugsy shuddered. Who are they, really? Murmured Skygazer, adjusting his glasses. Everyone was talking all at once, their fears and worries blending together into anxious white noise. Checkered King held up a hand to quiet the crowd. I wonder if you might lend me your ears for a moment. You rustled up an idea, Your Majesty? Said Scarecrow, looking out from under his straw hat at the king. I believe I have. You see, when Streetbeat, Pensive Piero, Clock Tower Kid, and Madam of the Mansion came to my stage, it struck me. If Wonderworld has a name, it must be so we can differentiate it from another world. I know it sounds ridiculous, but what if... Like before, Checkered King hesitated. What if it were true? What if it were true? Then what you would... Give me a moment. My tongue is getting tied. What if it were true? Then what would you do? Everyone turned at the sound of Lance's voice. There he stood, like he had been there the whole time, his arms crossed and a grim look on his face.
The fuck did I tell you about investigating?
There is indeed another world out there, as our dear monarch surmised. The one you all came from, and the one you despised. It hurt you enough to cause you to flee, and now you are here, happy and free. Checkered King let out a long breath. So, this is not our original home. Of course. It never occurred to me before, but now I realize I have no memories of my childhood. I have looked like this since the very moment I first set foot into Wonderworld. Shock rippled through the gathered crowd. Can't be true, said Seagazer, her voice wavering. I can't believe I'm from anywhere but here. Uneasy glances flitted from person to person as the realization sank in. None of them had a past. They had been here for an untold amount of time, doing the same things, living the same day. It never would have occurred to me to wonder about that until you mentioned it, Invisible Custodian sighed. But what about that grinning man in the top hat? And Fighter? And the furballs? Lady of the Midnight Sun was the only one who kept her cool. She fixed Lance with a level stare. Balan is the name of the hatted man, and to expel you from Wonderworld is his devious plan. To that end he sent Fighter, his obedient sidekick, to dismantle each of your stages to the very last brick. And as for the furballs, the creatures called Tim, well, they also owe their allegiance to him. They are everything my dear Negati are not. Polar opposites, in fact, like cold is to hot.
Jesus. Good fucking lord. The rhymes are getting worse. And that's saying something.
But why does this Balan guy want to make us leave Wonderworld? Asked Clocktower Kid, staring up at Lance with eyes full of fear. He wants to be Wonderworld's maestro, to have total control. To him, you're outsider. You're nothing but outsiders in the way of that goal. But you're Wonderworld's maestro. Indeed, little one, I am. It puts me in a little bit of a jam. Then just get rid of him, Lance! Lance gave a sad shake of his head. I would if I could, but destroying him is beyond me. Your stages are the ones in danger, so only you have that ability. You mean we have to fight him? Bugsy whispered, her face falling. All I can do is teach you to fight, and give you the strength to make things right. But are you willing to take a stand? To defend your stages with your own hand? Yes! Shouted Sentinel. Like his cry had broken a dam, everyone from Invisible Custodian to Gentle Watcher took to their feet, rallying around Lance. Even Clocktower Kid, who was shaking, gazed in a determination at the silver-haired man. I want to protect my stage, and Pensive, and everyone's.
Fuck. God damn it. Fuck. There.
What are you doing? Oh,
Did it not go through?
determination.
Yeah. Ba-da-da-ba.
Really?
Do I have that? Do I not have that?
I missed plot. I wasn't expecting to miss plot when I went to get
sorry.
Red.
Yeah, 30% of the way through the book, and everyone's finally here, and Lance is giving everyone the rundown. You're not originally
Lance
from this world, and Balan is here to destroy all your hopes and dreams.
Yeah,
and she's evil.
Lance
That's so
is
fucked up.
gaslighting the protagonists.
Yep. In an actually correct use of the term.
Mm-hmm.
If on this path you have truly decided, then out from within your strength must be guided. Your memories from before I had locked away, in hopes of keeping your suffering at bay. But I must now unleash all the hurt in your heart, for the sake of the power that it will impart. This power will change you from the you that you know, but you must use it to transform your stages and ensnare our foe. Are you sure we can do that? Asked Bugsy, her face scrunched up in worry. I don't doubt it for a second, little one. See? For proof of this ultimate power, just look at me. He began to warp and change before their very eyes. His pale clothing began to darken, his silver hair deepening to the darkest black. Strange markings appeared all over his body that looked just like the patterns on the Negati, except they were far more intricate and eerily beautiful. From his back unfurled wriggling tentacles. This is my true form. Behold. Now do you trust what you've been told? The shock of his bizarre
I would trust
transformation.
him less at that point.
The shock of his bizarre transformation made everyone take a step back. Sorrow flitted over Lance's face. Oh, my friends, have no fear. Changed I may be, but I still hold you dear. This I swear, on the mark that I bear. He touched a hand to his chest, to the glyph that was the most disquieting of them all. Chapter 2. Trent.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh. Fuck.
Chapter 2, Transformation.
Oh.
Good fucking
Fuck.
lord. Are you enjoying yourself, Mush? Because you sound like you are.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of maybe. That was one goddamn chapter.
That was one chapter! Now I understand why the numbers at the beginning, and the weird clock, those are the page, it's the page number where the chapter starts.
Yep. See, I figured that, but it looked like it was too few chapters
I know!
to fit the plot of the game.
Well, we're 32% of the way in, and we're just getting to the part that kind of matches up with the plot, sort of, maybe? Ugh. Clock Tower Kid. With a mournful look, Lance stepped closer to pensive Piero. Remembering will cause you so much pain. Are you sure you want to throw your happiness down the drain? Pensive Piero nodded. Lance touched a finger to the clown's forehead. On his skin appeared the same mark Lance bore on his chest. It is over, said and done. From your memories, you no longer can run. Pensive Piero closed his eyes. A few moments later, they fluttered open, and he started muttering. I remember.
Good. Good. Oh my god.
Oh my god, another vacuum cleaner?
Uh-huh.
What makes this different, though? Anything
I cannot
else?
tell. Hold X
It's
to
red.
vacuum up faraway items and enemies. Press X again to shoot out anything that's been
It's
stuck.
literally
I
just the
don't-
same thing, but red.
Lethal vacuum.
Like,
I... God fucking damn it. I don't know why I expected anything different.
do we want to keep going with the book? I think I might need to take a break myself.
Yeah, let's take a look.
It's 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Where did the fucking time go?
Oh god, I can't wait for the second bonus Malin stream.
Oh,
I don't... Okay. We're halfway through the extra stages. I'm not exactly in the mood to come back to this again. That's my phone telling me that we're through with this bullshit. But I'm gonna wrap up this stage and then maybe decide if we want to wrap it up for the night. I could definitely finish the remaining stages within an hour if we just want to call it there. And fucking bury this game. Because I'm ready to be done with this. I don't want to do another stream of this,
Yeah.
but I would. But I don't.
yeah, I'm
I also-
not so sure about this book either.
It's not good.
It's
A
not
bad book
good.
is so much harder to sit through than anything else. Also, I technically didn't finish this stage, but I reached the end of it and then
It's
kept
been
going.
like
so it's
pared
whatever.
down some.
It really wouldn't be that bad if it had just been fucking trimmed.
Like half
Oh,
of the
boy.
book is repeating what we've already heard 5 times before.
Yeah. Literally over 28% of the total pages through is when we first hear the name Balan.
Mhm.
Alright. I'm gonna set up my Tims to feed, and I'm gonna go use the bathroom, and then we're just gonna shotgun through the last of the stages.
Okay. I'm gonna close down my stream then, because
Okay.
I'm done reading for now. My throat's getting kinda.
I can read from now on if you want.
If you want, what you could do is Quark can read ahead and basically just point out anytime something weird or goofy happens. I don't know if you guys want to figure out how
I,
you to.
I don't
Split that
know.
up.
Yeah, I don't mind just reading. I have his stream up.
Okay. All right, then you
All right.
then you can take over for me if you like.
Sure, why not? Let's.
I'm gonna
Fucking
mute
go.
myself and go to the bathroom real quick. But
Okay,
my
I'll
stream will still be
regale
up
you with
and
this
the audio will still be.
Incredible light novel. Hope you enjoy, chat. Clock Tower Kid. With a mournful look, Lance stepped closer to pensive Piero. Remembering will cause you so much pain. Are you sure you want to throw your happiness down the drain? Pensive Piero nodded. Lance touched a finger to the clown's forehead. Fuck. On his skin appeared the same mark Lance bore on his chest. It is over, said and done. From your memories you can no longer run. Pensive Piero closed his eyes. A few moments later they fluttered open and he started muttering. I remember who I was, the life I led. I worked at a theme park as a clown, making people laugh. That's a big, bold claim to have from a clown. They had a parade there and she was the star, the princess. Her hair was silver, her song sweet. The guests loved her and so did the rest of the staff. She was always so kind to us, always so supportive. I fell in love. That's wonderful. Good for you. Too bad you're a clown, though. But she was the star, and I was just a common clown. I was joking.
Just a common clown.
Just a
Your
common
regular
clown.
old everyday clown.
Common rarity clown. Our worlds couldn't have been. Actually, they're in different social classes, like in the 1700s or something. She was the princess of this circus, and I was just the common peasant. Okay, sometimes her eyes would turn my way, but my face was always hidden behind the clown mask.
Hey.
Well, I dreamed often of telling her how I felt. I never did. I started to hate myself for being such a coward. And then one day, after changing into my clown costume and heading into the park, I was astonished to discover a theater in the middle of the central square. None of the other employees seemed to even notice it. They just walked right on by. The doors opened and I felt this strange pull, like something was drawing me inside. Oh, here's this sentence right here. I felt this strange pull is going to be the thing that gets repeated for every character that goes through their little trauma thing.
Oh no. It had better
Just
not be.
Placing bets. One moment I was in the park, the next I was in Wonderworld. Now
This
I
book
understand
has
why
given
my
me no confidence that it's not gonna just keep saying the same thing over and over.
Now I understand why my stage is an amusement park and what is missing from it. The march still plays, but the princess's parade, they aren't there. Pensive Piero squeezed his eyes shut again. The muscles, I thought this said musician for some reason. The muscles in his jaw tightening. But maybe it's better this way, he murmured. She'll never feel the same way about me because I'm a fucking clown. At least here I won't have my heart shredded to confetti every time I see her. Trembling Clock Tower Kid reached out and gripped Pensive Piero's hand. Forget about that, princess. You and me can stay in Wonderworld together forever and ever. She let go of him and strode up to Lance. I want to remember too. Lance extended a finger. The moment he touched her, Clock Tower Kid started trembling like a leaf. His mark appeared on her brow. I remember. I was walking by the clock tower when I saw the kitten on the other side of the street. Kitty. It liked me. It always let me pet it. I wasn't thinking. I said, "Here, kitty, kitty." And it heard me and started crossing the road. But then there was an accident in front of the clock tower, not
The
cock tower.
what?
I accidentally said cock tower. I'm sorry. The car crash. Kitty, I couldn't move. The car was on top of
There was so much smoke. The cars were on their side. I didn't see the kitten anywhere. I was too scared to look. I didn't want to see. It's my fault. All my fault. If I hadn't called. So I reached the clock tower. Thanks. I'm glad everyone appreciated that. I ran as fast as I could away from the clock tower, and I never looked back. She opened her eyes. Fat tears streamed down her streaked down her cheeks. That kitten probably died because of me, and I just ran. I was so scared. Clock tower kid sank into a crouch, hugging her knees tight to her chest. But I got to forget all about it when I came here. I got to meet Pensive and make so many other friends. Even though I'm so awful, Wonderworld means everything to me. I can't let anything happen to it, and I never want to leave. I want to stay here with Pensive and everyone forever. Just fucking call him Piero, please. When she lifted her gaze, Street Beat saw dark light shining in her eyes. What's that mean? I won't let anyone destroy our stages.
My eyes would have just gone right over that. Okay, but dark light.
Dark light.
It's like deep purple or something. Also, hi, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. We're having a time. Not a good time, but a time. Two glittering somethings shot out of her. Then, as if the lights had been the trigger, her body began to morph, to transform into a giant cat. And as she changed, so too did her stage begin to warp and bend. Street Beat and the others backed away from the metamorphosis. Lance smiled because he's a bastard. Come now, dear friends, do not distress. Once Balin and his minions are defeated, your memories I will again repress. Back to normal, you will return, your stage is included. Then you can stay forever in Wonderworld, safe and happy, your ordeal's concluded. He looked up at the giant cat that Clock Tower Kid had become. The negative powers are now yours to control. For attacking your stages, you'll make the enemy pay a most terrible toll. The thing that used to be Clock Tower Kid nodded, then loped off into the stage out of sight. Pensive Piero stared after her, slack-jawed. His eyes roved her now unrecognizable stage. I never knew how much he cared about Wonderworld, how much he cherished my stage. I can't let her be the only one to take a stand. I'm going back, and I'll make whatever changes necessary to myself and my stage so I can fight. With that, the clown turned from them and rushed away. We need to face the enemy on all our stages. Sentinel and Watcher turned to each other and nodded. We're guardians. It's our duty to protect our stages, even if that means turning into some horrible creature for a little while. They strode over to Lance.
There's the cat monster. Oh,
Poor girl. That's unfortunate. I shall fight too, said Checkered King, lifting his chin. For my queen! Steegazer straightened her shoulders. I'm heading home too. Goodbye, Skygazer. I hope we get to hang out by your stage's ocean again sometime soon. I'll keep it safe for you, Seagazer, but you better protect your stage too. It is one of the prettiest skies I've ever seen. They shared a smile, then turned and left. One by one, they let Lance mark their foreheads. One by one, they returned to their stages. Street Beat was no exception.
Welcome back, Clue.
Hey, Clue.
We are identifying all the bosses now.
Yeah.
Like
despite the fact that their transformation seemed like something they couldn't control.
Don't worry about it.
See, okay, my
just let Balin Wonderworld masterful writing wash over you.
So my big problem with it is just the fact that my big problem with it is just that it makes the game make less sense.
Wait, go back to the middle of the hub.
Hold on. Yeah, let me do that real quick. So the thing is that the cutscenes all seem to imply that they don't want to be these monsters, and that they don't want, like, I don't. It's
They were manipulated into it. It seems.
yeah, but like I don't know. Alright,
Maybe
what
they're
about
like,
the?
yeah, let's go, and then
Okay.
the actual transformation is terrifying. I don't know.
Oh, for crying out loud! I thought I actually noticed a pattern in how the stage numbers were arranged, but no, there's no pattern.
Mm.
Yeah.
Also,
just roll the
last
fucking
time
full-sided
someone
dice.
pointed out the fucking thing, the island. top.
Yeah.
Colorful
You
island.
can
And,
see a
uh,
costume up there.
Yeah, and that's the Balan costume. It lets you free fly wherever you want.
Yeah,
It makes basically
makes sense.
everything fucking trivial.
I thought every other stage went up by one, but it just happened to be a couple in a row that fit the pattern, and then the rest just
Oh
fucking.
God, it's
Oh.
infuriating. Pensive
That-
Piero's. Oh, sorry.
I think this part of the book feels like it's like a couple steps removed from being like there's something there, but it's just not getting it. And It's
Mhm.
frustrating.
Yeah. Pensive
supposed
Piero's
to-
memories. was-
Sorry. It just. This is supposed to be explaining the events of the game in greater detail, but it's like there's barely
It
anything.
feels like an AU, actually.
Yeah, there's barely anything connecting.
'Cause the thing
it to
is that
book
the
except
beginning of the
characters.
game-
And-
At the beginning of the game, they clearly show that like Leo and Emma arrive at the same time and are both on Balan's side.
Hello,
This just
Clarinet
seems-
Duck.
This part is just cut out of the game, I guess.
It just
It's
make it
the
one-sided to show what
pre-sequel.
is. Oh goodness, fucking gracious!
or maybe this was just drafted in the time between the game was being worked on and before the cutscenes were even created. Because
Maybe.
the
I don't know.
cutscenes are the only plot the game has.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Pensive Piero's memories washed over him in excruciating detail as soon as he set foot back on his stage. The name of the theme park where he worked hit him like a punch. Christmas Rose Park. I hate that name. He was still
That's
reeling.
a fucking
from...
awful name.
Yeah, it sucked. He was still reeling from that when her title pierced him. Princess Mary. That's
Together
not
we can
too
show the
bad.
world what we can do. You are next to me and I'm next to you. Push me on through until the battle's won.
He did not know her real name. The park managers never revealed her true identity to anyone, even her fellow employees, to maintain the illusion of mystery that kept people paying the admission fees. I've never worked in a circus, but I really don't think that's how it, goes down, usually. It seems weird.
I don't even think that it's the circus. I think it's just the
This is Disney.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Christmas Rose Park.
Oh, yeah, Christmas Disney.
somehow
Where was
can make it do Disney worse.
I didn't think that was possible. Still, even if he had known
To
her
make
real
Disney
name.
worse, add Catholicism.
Clowns.
Wow.
Catholic
Pensive
clown.
Hero could never have told her how he really felt, but right now, all he could think about was Clock Tower Kid. Her transformation had bewildered him at first, but the shock had subsided into profound understanding for the hurt she carried. Poor thing, she suffered so much for such a little kid. I have to protect her stage. I have to draw upon the negative power inside me. A dark luminescence
Oh,
shimmered in
no.
Pensive Piero's eyes. Inside me! Two lights shot out of his body. Then he and his stage began to change. Excuse me. Street
Are
Beat.
those two
everyone's
lights gonna end up
favorite
being like
character.
the trees that you have to get to at the end
They
of each
might
stage?
be.
Probably, yeah.
They might be. Back
Yeah.
on his own stage now, Street Beat wondered, what should I do? Seeing Clock Tower Kid transform into a monster right in front of his eyes had really shaken him up. Will I end up like that too? The thought scared him, but he shook his head, declared, I'm trying to do like a shitty Shonen Protag voice. I don't know if
Doing it
that's
pretty-
coming
I
through.
kind of got that. It's
You're,
really
you're
good.
doing a pretty bad job of it, which means it's a pretty good job.
Exactly. It's fucking awesome.
I'd have to do it. There's no other way. After all, little Clock Tower Kid was willing to change so drastically to protect Princess Piero's stage. Street Beat couldn't just sit this fight out. Okay, change! His decision made, the town around him started to shake, softly at first. The sun slipped down past the horizon. Darkness swallowed his stage. All the traffic lights switched from green or yellow to red, and everything shook harder and harder. Terrifying.
Stop
They
now.
turned the lights red.
No one will ever
Apartments and
move
shops
again.
Shifted. Slow as molasses. The straight roads grew warped and twisted. The town wasn't a town anymore, but a giant maze.
How
Fighter
do
and
they
the
make-
grinning man would
I-
never be
I
able to
just-
navigate through it.
I just want to point out the fact, how do they make rollerblading have such bad looking momentum?
Oh my god.
I look like I'm dragging my socks on the floor.
You're not
doesn't
even
look like
moving
I'm
faster
being
than your
carried
normal running
anywhere.
speed. What is the purpose?
So look, I want to show you exactly the distance that the burst lasts. That lasts for less time than the fucking cheetah.
And you have to jump first.
At least it doesn't go off.
Also, speaking of jumping, can someone look up a guide on where to find the bonus costumes? Because I want to find them all before end of it, so we never have to do it again. Also, speaking of, this is one of the best costumes ever. Triple jumper.
Ah.
Oh.
Time to snap this game in half even more than we were before.
I wonder what I look
Time to
like.
grind
now.
this one costume out for an hour.
Street Beat
Do you
peeked
have
down
any
at
more
his hand. Do you have any more what?
Keys.
No, but there was one right behind the door, or behind the thing, so I was waiting for it to respawn so I could grab it again.
Understandable. Anyway, what's Street Beat up to?
As Street Beat's looking at his hands. Huh? They were still human. He turned to face what used to be a department store, staring at his reflection in its window. It was still him. Why didn't I transform? On his forehead was the same Limble Sans. Symbol Lance.
Limble Sans!
Limble Sans. By the way, I get tongue twisted really easily. Oh.
I
I
can
was
kind
having
of
the
tell,
same
but
trouble
honestly, it
thinking.
adds to it.
On his forehead was the same symbol Lance had marked Clock Tower Kid with, but otherwise Street Beat looked the same as he always did, and no matter how hard he tried, he could not remember anything about his life before Wonderworld. How am I supposed to protect everyone like this? If Clock Tower Kid could transform, why can't I? Is it because I'm scared? Am I really that useless? At the thought, a dark light glinted, goddamn, in Street Beat's eyes. Leo, no! Street Beat turned around and saw
I don't know
The
why
use
that
of his
really got
actual
me.
name after all this street beating, it's just...
Oh, what the Leo!
Street Beating.
You good?
Oh my god.
No! I'm playing Balan Wonderworld.
Street Beat turned around and saw the girl from his vision. The girl he had met on Lady of the Midnight Sun stage. Spider. Behind her stood the grinning man, top hat and all. God, this is
Spider!
so weird.
Just
Top
that
hat
has,
and
the,
all.
that has the same energy as, how's that text-to-speech going, Jay? Spider.
Spider. Oh God. Street Beat could see him clearly now. He had the same sort of aura as Lance had before Lance had transformed. Though the design of his flashy outfit was completely different. They're not that different. The brim of his top hat was pulled so low that Street Beat could see nothing of the man's face except his mouth, stretched wide in its usual grin. Spider rushed over, but Street Beat recoiled from her. Who are you? It's me, Leo. It's Emma. Try to remember. We met in the Balin Theater in the lobby. I was trying to decide if I should go in or not. Her words jarred free the
okay,
memories
never
of the
mind.
past.
This does actually line up with what happened.
Ah,
But, you know, I guess the memory fuckery
guess
makes some
Been
sense,
wandering
but
around in here for months.
yeah.
Also,
Leo.
rest in
Oh.
fucking peace, Street Beat.
No,
God,
no, Street
what a
Beat's
fucking
gone.
name Street Beat
Beat's
was.
gone. I'm crushed. That's right. That's my real name. I'm Leo. He was always dancing in the streets by himself. Everyone in
And
town
so
said he
everyone
was the
started
best.
calling him Street Beat until he
Around.
forgot his own
Nothing's
name.
ever gonna bring him down. All the different dance crews jockeyed to get him to join, but Street Beat, Leo never did. He was too cool for all of those posers. He didn't need anyone else to dance.
I can't tell if that was an actual line or not, but I believe it
No,
is.
it didn't. But
It's it
he
improv.
didn't need anyone
yeah,
else
pretty
to dance
much.
with. He didn't need friends. And as it was with dancing, so it was with school. He was always alone, because he was a huge jackass and refused to try to interact with anyone. And he liked it that way. He didn't care about anyone or anything except getting better at dancing. Even when the Altrando meteor shower streaked the night sky with shooting stars, this
God, the
motherfucker
name
didn't give a single
Altrando.
shit. Altrando. He hadn't cared enough to look up. He just kept walking with his eyes on the ground. You lived the most boring life imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Worse than
fucking
mine.
rip.
Oops.
The next day, the meteor shower was all his
Oops.
family could talk about. He ignored their excited conversation because he's a huge jerk and didn't give a shit about his family members either. And so,
I meant to push oops, but it just went yay instead. There. Proper oops, but also
and slipped out of the house to dance. He had been-
oh
Oh,
jeez,
that
that was
was
loud.
loud.
Why is that so much louder?
I don't know.
He had been on his way to his usual practice spot when he noticed a mysterious new alley and turned down it out of sheer curiosity. You don't
We
need to
were there.
remind me of this.
We were there. We
were there.
there.
Prologue.
Okay, to be
It's not
fair, most people probably blocked out the entire rest of the book before this.
Ah,
Yeah, but I could understand
Then
if it was
what-
like
then
some
what did I
out of
remember
context
then?
thing where you bring it back into context later, but like that didn't happen. It just told you exactly what fucking happened. Oh my god. I know Balin rots your brain, but it's not so bad that I couldn't remember what happened an hour ago.
oh shit, I got a salmon ramen tomorrow.
Nice. Oh,
Pardon this.
where was I? I got mad and started rambling.
You...
There, that was when he saw a beautiful building he could have sworn he had never been there before. On its facade, which is a word that you can use that way, I learned today, glowed a neon sign that read the Balin Theater. Street Beat Leo knew the town like the back of his hand.
Please just
Oh my
start
God,
replacing
that-
Leo's name with Street Beat.
I'll just call him
Every instance of his
Leo.
name on this page is hyphenated with Street
Street Beat
Beat.
Leo. That's
Street Beat Leo!
Leo!
That's so fucking good.
knew the town like the back of his hand. All its ins and outs, all its secrets, or so he had thought. It was a shock to discover something new. He opened the door to check it out. Inside, he met Emma. I remember now. You were standing there still as a statue. The two of us explored the theater together, and after that... Oh, little one, just look at the state of you, said the man in the top.
No, not him too!
Wait,
Oh
What?
god, is he also rhyming?
I mean, Balin always rhymed.
Quirk!
Yeah.
Keep
What?
going.
Are you enjoying my bad voice?
Your Balin voice made me lose my shit for a second. I didn't even process that you rhymed until after.
Oh no, she
after they
hasn't
pointed
yet,
it
I
out
just
again.
read ahead.
Forgotten yourself and what you must do. What are you talking about? The man in the top hat shook his head sadly. Passing through my theater brought you to this place. It's a gateway, you see, twixt time and space.
Okay, I'll give him that one. That one was actually decent.
One good rhyme and the whole thing. I've
Mhm,
lost
you get
track of
one.
how many millions of times I've introduced myself to the theater's guests. To speak the same words to the same person is something I thoroughly detest. His
Okay,
name's Balin,
Okay,
explained Emma.
You've said 2 lines and I already hate you.
Yeah, no, like
Look
literally,
this
Balin,
little
you
bitch.
know that there's memory fuckery going on. Like, fucking explain shit.
Look at this jackass, explained Emma as the man heaved a dramatic sigh. Maestro of all Wonderworld. Street Beat Leo furrowed his brow. I thought Lance was in charge. Most definitely not.
Street Beat Leo.
Most definitely not. He's only tricked everyone into thinking he calls the shots. Balin threw his hands into the air, like he just don't care.
Oh no, the rhyming is spreading to Quark.
No.
We must. I'm sorry, bro. We have to get rid of you. It's the only way to keep the rest of us safe. You're already contaminated.
You're one to talk about tricking people. I remember now. You said we couldn't leave the Balin Theater unless we passed some sort of test. You
Wow,
locked
that's
us in.
fucked up.
Jesus.
Balin's got some problems here. I can see why you think I'm the one you should vilify, said Balin, looking genuinely upset. But you have it all backwards, so please let me clarify. My theater exists for only one end, to protect people's hearts as long as they've hearts to defend. How do you protect heart?
Yeah, I hate that.
Don't worry
like,
about it.
At the very least, his vocabulary is like different than Lance's in such a way that it's like kind of more interesting, sort of. I don't know, like the rhymes are a little more interesting.
Oh.
They're not great, but there was the one good one.
With great effort and care, and an extra dash of flair. Balin struck a dramatic pose like a leading actor in the spotlight. By the way, I just want to say they write flare like solar flare every single time they use it.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Incorrect.
See, that's the reason that everyone got Team Flare, like it's saying like, oh, they have another one that's teamed after fire because no one knew the right. What the?
What is going on with Blue?
Blue.
That's my attack.
Okay. Sure, why not?
Everyone thinks hearts are individual islands, which is to be expected.
Okay,
The thing
hold on
about
a second.
islands,
I just
though-
need to interrupt you because the music on
Okay.
my stream has just gotten to the stage clear song. The boss defeated song.
Oh my
The
god.
dance party.
Thing about
Okay, continue.
islands, though, deeper down, they're all connected. It's what we call Wonderworld, this most happy land. Happy is what you want to call it, huh? What some scholars call the collective consciousness, like in Persona 5. But who knows if any truly understand? Regardless,
I can't
you
wait until
cannot
I get to
me
play
by
Persona
fire
5
by
again.
train, only through my theater, simple and plain. Why did the Balin Theater appear to me? A heart is made of 2 pieces combined, a positive piece and a negative, balanced and twined. My theater appears when that balance goes haywire, to help people lost within straits most dire. Inside they go and inside they remain, until they pass the test to restore their heart's balance and return whence they came. My
That
heart
was
hasn't
so-
gone haywire.
That was the worst one yet. That was like 18 extra syllables. That's cheating. Rhyme isn't just 2 words that sound the same at the end of different phrases. There
Gotta
needs
have
to be
meaning
rhythm
to
to it.
Like,
I mean, technically, that's not rhyme. That's verse you're talking about.
I guess, yeah. But like, fucking, not
oh,
good.
God.
Also,
there
this
is no
whole
such thing
explanation
as
of
good.
what Balin's doing to people makes him sound almost more the villain than Lance is.
He's a little fucked up, but that's okay.
Let these
He's got a
people,
funny
like,
hat,
just-
and I like him.
Have you considered maybe therapy instead of this weird heart trapping thing you're doing?
Therapy's expensive. This is what you get.
Heart trapping is free. Therapy is expensive. Heart trapping is free. Are not
Don't
words
have
that I
insurance.
expected
Better
to say.
go to the Balin Theater.
Oh, little one, I say this with great affection. You sorely lack in introspection. Balin gave Street Beat Leo an exasperated stare.
Street Beat Leo!
Leo.
I like saying it like that. Just repeat Leo like it's one name. You think you can live life all alone without any friends
No,
to call
no.
your own?
First name Leo, maiden name Street, married name Beat.
Who's he married to?
I don't know, fucking Emma or someone. I don't know.
He's married to Balin.
And- Sure, we'll go with that now.
Balin Beat.
Balin beat.
It's like
Oh,
Desiree Oldbag. Desiree
You mispronounced
Oldbag.
Balin Bout as Balin Beat.
Oh my god. It's like Desiree's full name being Desiree Oldbag Delight. Because we during the Ace Attorney streams we determined that that she was or that Oldbag is Desiree's mom.
Oh god. Okay, where was
Lost both of those?
Yeah, because I
What?
transformed into one.
Oh my
So deep
god. Game design.
Game design.
So deep down inside you fester loneliness like a sore. But just like the others, you craved something more. You thought you could live on your stages without a care, but all the pain inside brought you negative drops to bear. And from those drops, Lance of Negati drew power, grew stronger and stronger with each passing hour. Who is Lance? The product of all the chaos and war since civilization's birth. That's a
Oh goodness.
fucking backstory there.
Suspension.
Oh. 3,000 years, give or take, for what dates are worth. All those negative emotions affect Wonderworld too, and gave rise to Lance, the one who's deceived you. He said he cared about us. Balin's shoulders lifted and fell. I guess he shrugged. The same
I was thinking
Whoops,
more
that was the
deep
wrong
sigh.
Same way a farmer cares for his egg-laying hens. It's the drops he loves, but that doesn't make you friends. What's so special about drops? The tears people in the real world cry when they're happy or sad or don't even know why. Negati and Tims need them to survive and use their power to help Wonderworld thrive. Street Beat Leo couldn't make sense of what Balin was saying. Hey, he trailed off. His memories were coming back in a steady drip. I remember. After I met you in the theater, you told me I had to take a test. I had to defeat Lance and make Wonderworld go back to normal.
I fucked up!
And I fucked
Anyway, we're
up!
not doing the ice world. I ran out of fucking seal things and I don't want to go back for more.
To what it was before all the Negati corrupted it. Balin let out a sigh of relief. I was starting to think your memories might stay gone for good, given half a chance. Tell me, do you remember you and Fighter Emma battling? And
Please tell me they stayed hyphenated like that.
Street Beat Leo's jaw dropped. We did what? I tried to get you to be patient, to prepare you for the difficult brawl ahead. Like in Super Smash Brothers. But no, you two ran off and fought him anyway. You're lucky you didn't end up dead. Street Beat Leo could only shake his head. But if I lost my memories after fighting Lance, then why didn't Emma? Why didn't Fighter Emma? Fighter Emma
Because she's
smiled.
not shitty.
That was
Yes,
just better
did
than
her
your
job.
way.
Fighter Emma's the fighter, as shown
It's
from
Fighter
her
Emma.
name. I grew up pretty spoiled back in the real world. People around me bent over backwards to get me what I wanted, but I knew it was only because my parents were mega rich. No one actually cared about me. I stopped trusting people, stopped letting them get close. That's why the Balin Theater appeared to me. The first time we met in the lobby, you didn't know the first thing about me, but you saw I was scared, and you said you'd have my back if anything happened. I started to trust you. That's why Lance's power held no sway over me.
I'm immune to brainwashing because I'm a rich asshole.
Oh,
I
man.
remember
And also plot
that.
contrivance.
Yeah, basically.
You were so terrified. I was terrified too, but I didn't want to let on because I thought you were cute and wanted to impress you.
Wow.
No, that ended a
is
few
the-
words before it, of course, but I like that better.
I
It's
added
more
the
honest.
cute thing.
It's more honest.
Honestly, that would have given a little bit of actual characterization to Leo and would have made me like, okay, he's a dweeb that's trying to impress a girl. Okay. I can understand that. Everything
Clearly,
else,
I should have written
no.
this book.
You should have. You would have done it better, honestly, because you would have given it a second pass.
Yeah. Which is why you lost to Lance despite trying your best. Balin bent down to peer to street beat Leo's face. Does that put all your questions to rest?
I still have one. Why didn't I transform like everyone else?
Balin grinned. Remember the walls you built round your heart? Meeting everyone here slowly tore them apart. You may have maintained you were fine on your own, but a desire to protect new friends you've always shown. Starting with that promise you made to Fighter Emma when she was afraid. There we go.
Continues
Okay.
to be the worst.
I promised.
In his mind, Street Beat Leo, Stock Clock Tower Kid, and all the other people he had met. It's that very positive promise that saved you when Lance's negative power might have enslaved you. It wasn't until he heard it put into words that Street Beat Leo began to understand why the others had seen something else in their vision besides Fighter and Balin, and he hadn't. The visions had shown them their deepest, darkest fears. Balin nodded as if he knew what Street Beat Leo was thinking. You see, you didn't really want to be friendless or alone, and the lack of something cannot be shown.
Wait, I was actually
Fighter-
right. He didn't say it was being lonely.
Yeah,
That was a joke.
Fighter Emma said, Leo, you and me, we're the ones who have to destroy everyone's stages.
Wait, spluttered Street Beat Leo. You mean we have to fight them?
What? No! She gave a vehement shake of her head. We have to save them! We have to break them free of Lance's negative power, and then we have to take him down, all of us together! Street Beat Leo hesitated. He still wasn't sure it was the right thing to do. Leo, said Fighter Emma fiercely, you're cool letting Clock Tower kids stay like that forever? That made up his mind.
No, let's save everyone and then kick Lance's butt.
The dark light in his eyes flooded
That is
out.
extremely shonen protagonist sounding.
Yeah.
I've given up trying to distinguish what is and what isn't the actual writing of the book, and have just kind of
No.
accepted part.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
Quark's
figured
only
that
made the
one
one
was-
ad-lib so far.
Oh my god.
Suddenly, a Negity lurking nearby turned and launched itself at Street Beat Leo, but Fighter Emma kicked it off.
It's still
Truly a fighter.
hyphenating their names.
Again, I
love
think I feel like this is something that would have worked way better in Japanese.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
What the fuck did it attack me for?
What the fuck, man? We were cool.
That's also not an
Since
ad
you
lib, right?
turning
That's
against Lance, the drops you see all around Wonderworld are made from people's memories and emotions. The Tims, those fuzzy furball things you were also worried about, they tend toward the positive one.
supposed to do?
I missed it. What happened?
Hold forward?
I just killed all momentum by taking a single fucking jump. Like I was at the end of a ramp, and that was... Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't care. The ending was at the end of that. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, the costume's at the end.
What's the costume?
Moonwalker.
What?
I need it.
Oh.
I need it. I have to go back.
Oh my
it's
god,
called Moonwalker.
Clueless,
How
no.
can I not?
Clueless, it's not worth
Look,
it.
the train tracks took like 2 seconds.
The guide says you need triple jumper to actually get to it, and
It's a
it
good thing I already
Possibly a
have
key
that. All
'cause
right.
there's not a
it's
key
good thing I
nearby, I
have
don't
both of
worry.
those.
Okay.
I'll just
the
go.
Tims,
I'll
those
just.
fuzzy
yeah.
oh, sorry.
Okay, go on.
Damn, those fuzzy furball things you were all so worried about. They tend towards the positive ones, but the negati go for the negative, as you might have gathered from their name. The negati aren't going to be friendly to you anymore, so you better watch out for them when you go to everyone's stages.
better watch
You aren't
out,
coming with
better
me?
watch out.
I
better
can't.
watch
I
out,
have something
better
else to
watch
take
out.
care of.
I'm in the wrong fucking stage.
What else
The
is
wrong
there
fucking
besides
stage. This is
saving
World
everyone?
eight.
Oh,
Fighter Emma gave him an enigmatic smile. You'll see. At that, she spun on her heel and vanished. That leaves just me and you, said Balin with a grin. Let's be off, little one. We've much to do. The street
I
beat
need
Leo
an adult.
hesitated.
I am an adult.
I
need a
am
different
an
adult.
adult.
By like 3,000 years. Now
Street
come
Beat
with
Leo
me and help
hesitated.
stop these tears. Woo.
He only knew how to get the Clock Tower Kid stage from his own, but he wasn't sure he was ready to fight her, even if it meant saving her. For a few moments, he stood debating himself, then drew his shoulders back in resolve and started walking. He led them across the street, down the alley, and over the low wall. Huh? He had followed the exact same path Clock Tower Kid had shown him, but they were still in his stage. The twists and turn of the labyrinth stretched out in every direction. Balin snorted. It seems all their stages are locked. The way Clock Tower Kid showed you is blocked. Then there's no way to reach them? When there's a will, little one, there's always a way. And I am Wonderworld's maestro. I don't know how to say that. What I command, it will obey. Balin lifted his forefinger. So, to whose stage first shall we go? Leo thought for a moment before answering, Scarecrows? The farmer was so gentle, Leo figured they might be able to explain everything and get him on their side without ever coming
Now
to
we're
blows.
going in stage order.
Yeah, I feel like that is entirely an arbitrary choice based on the fact that it was the first one. And if he was really that desperate, he would have gone right to fucking Catgirl's stage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Plus, his stage was such a gentle place, too. Balin tilted his head. He is indeed a very kind man. Not as kind as me, though. Let's hope all goes according to plan.
Once again, I choose to believe this is the actual dialogue.
Checkpoint.
As if he could read Leo's mind. Balin put a hand on Leo's shoulder and skimmed a finger across the brim of his top hat. A bright light enveloped them, and Street Beat Leo squeezed his eyes shut tight against it.
Okay, so now they're being inconsistent about the hyphenation.
Don't
Right.
worry about it.
Oh,
Chapter
3.
Battle. This'll be exciting, I'm sure. The one that used to be Scarecrow, the artist formerly known as Scarecrow. When Street Beat Leo opened his eyes again, he couldn't help but gasp at the strange scenery surrounding him. Where are we?
There was a giant farmer.
There was a big fucking farmer staring right at him, and it scared the piss out of poor Street Beat Leo. Where you told me to go only a few moments prior. No? That was a really bad rhyme there, Balin. Come on, step it up a
was.
lot.
Step up your fucking
This is
game.
Scarecrow stage? Said Leo, gulping. Are you sure? Where there ought to have been an expanse of cornfields was instead an endless towering stone wall. Sure as sure can get. He's transformed it for battle, if you want my best.
I did the thing!
What do they want you to do there? Are you not supposed to jump?
That looked like you just ran off the edge to me.
I was holding
Why didn't
forward.
you attack the
and
closer
I-
checkpoint?
There wasn't one!
There was one. Just for the
Well, I
fight.
didn't see it and I don't fucking
Eh.
care. I'm
It's-
giving up on that one.
It's 20 to midnight. Are you sure you want to still keep going?
I'll poke my head in the other stages. There's like 3 more. I'm not gonna finish them. I'm looking at them.
Street
'Cause
Beat
I-
Leo
I'm-
looked- Oh, sorry.
There's fucking 10. Jesus Christ. If I actually had to finish World 10, I would lose my fucking shit. right, continue, Quark. Sorry.
Beat Leo looked around as Balin spoke. Here and there he caught vestiges of the old stage he remembered. He was relieved to see that the farmhouse porch, at least, was unchanged. What's with the wall? Balin put his hands on his hips. A physical manifestation of his real-world harm from before he came here to this farm.
Sorry, I just read back in the chat and I saw Gomez's comment of Balin went to the same school as Dr. Hakim. The fucking crazy, the psychotic book from It Takes Two that is determined to make their relationship as awful as possible in order to fix it.
God.
Good lord. I hate how much sense that makes. Fuck this stage.
Think he's trying to protect his stage from the dancing trees he saw in his vision? A good guess, little one. You're quite the sleuth. But you'll have to free Scarecrow from the negativity to get the truth. Scarecrow, what are you trying to protect your farm and yourself from? Oh, so how do I free him then? Remember the lights that flew out of Clock Tower Kid when she changed? Those were positive fragments of her heart, the last two that remained. Except for the third one, which shows up later. You must find everyone's fragments somehow, then fire them into the mark Lance left on their brow. As Balin spoke, Street Beat Leo caught sight of the fuzzy furball creatures bouncing around. Before they were so translucent he could barely see them, but now they were solid and defined. What are those fucking things doing here?
Sorry, I really need to compliment how great Quark's terrible shonen protagonist voice is. 'Cause it's...
I used to do dramatic readings of like bad porn with friends.
Oh.
This does not surprise me.
Doing dumb
holy
shit.
shit. That's so good.
So I've been doing this for a bit now. Okay, where was I? Okay. What are those things doing here? Those creatures are Tim's, but of this you were already aware. Don't know why I'm telling you again. They've grown weak due to the negative corruption everywhere. You couldn't see them when Lance held you in his sway, but they never left your side for a single day, so you better be thankful. And the poor things are starved for drops to eat. You should give them some as a treat. What'll happen if you do that? Balin only gave him an impish grin.
I haven't figured this shit out. They've got a clock tower or something.
Balin only gave him an impish grin. Figure it out your damn self. I'll be it for me. Raise one and see it with your own two eyes.
Figure it out, bitch.
No. Leo ran over to the farmer as fast as his feet would go. But Scarecrow vanished before he could reach him.
What?
I can't believe they actually explained it! I can't believe they actually fucking explained it! Okay, they didn't really explain it, but they acknowledged it, and that's enough for me.
Oh my fucking god. Okay,
I can't fucking believe it. Holy shit.
Fuck, okay. Balin groaned. He's been taken over by the negativity's blight. Take care, little one, when the time comes to fight. What are you talking about? That wasn't him, I'm afraid. Just an illusion the positivity banished from his heart has made. Though in its weakened state the light still guides, it can show you where the real Scarecrow hides. They're making fucking plot contrivances for it.
I
Christ,
just want to point
motherfucker,
out how
son of a
fucking much, like how much talking there is, and just how little they've actually done.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking
Nothing has happened.
Okay,
God.
I'm gonna pass on World 12, but there is one thing I kind of want to see if I can get. Can you find the bonus costume for World 3?
For world 3?
Yes.
You check this. The costume here is right around the corner from the start, apparently.
Okay, then I'll get that.
It's
Okay.
at the start of the level. Go around the corner and jump across the platform ahead of you, and then there's a bunch of switches on the right. But you
Mhm.
might not have the costume you need to hit them.
Those two.
You need to go around the corner to the. No, it's 3 switches in a line.
I thought it was 3. There's one to stand on, and there's the 2. Oh, those. Okay. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I know which one I need for that. I need the fucking robot that shoots lasers when I stand still, because they can't give it a button.
Oh god, game design. And we have to follow it. There's no point going when we haven't cleared the first roadblock. Scarecrow has shut himself up tight, and there is only one key that opens the lock. It's right next to the costume. You can't miss it. Fallon patted Leo's shoulder. The positive fragments of his heart we need, if from Lance's power he is to be freed. Leo nodded, then set off toward the stone wall that stood where farmland once sprawled. On the way, they passed a couple of drops, but they were all floating in the air, just out of the little Tim's reach.
Okay.
Leo grabbed them and gave them to the furballs when he could, noticing they seemed to perk up and grow a little bigger after eating them. They had been a little spooky when he hadn't been able to see them as anything more than blurry shadows, but now that he got a better look at them, they looked like mascots you'd make plushies out of.
Oh my
They were
god.
kind of cute.
Clark.
What was the?
The guide I'm looking at says you need the World 8 special costume to hit those. I don't know if there's another way to do it, or that that's just the easiest way to do it. So I don't know if you can do this or not.
Okay, I'll just head to fucking world.
This game.
I'll just go to world 3 and get the bonus one there. Because I know what that one is, and it's fucking stupid.
I'm
It
excited.
also-
I like stupid.
It also epitomizes the shitty design of not being able to jump with any costume.
Oh, I
God.
can't wait to see this.
Some of the Tims he fed seemed to take a liking to him and followed him as he walked. They kept on like this for a while, Leo plucking drops from the air and feeding to Tims, bouncing in his wake. Look, and you'll see there are drops all around. Indeed, even inside that stone one can be found. In here? Leo touched the one Balin was pointing to. You think I can smash this with my bare fists? I'd need a hammer or something to break it open. Balin gave
How many
exasperated
pages
shake of
in
his
are
head.
we?
We are page 110 and 40%.
Okay, and we're just now talking about costumes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of costumes,
You need the big gear.
the big what? Oh, the big gear.
Big gear.
Fuck. That's in world. Fucking...
I don't think we're finishing this light novel tonight, but I would be
We are
down to read
not.
the rest of it later.
40%.
I'm having a good time reading this, actually.
Okay. Okay.
I-
Genuine question: do we want to come back to this at all, or do we just want to fucking read the book and see how shitty it is on our free time or whatever? Because like, I don't know how much more of this I personally could take.
Yeah, I think maybe you might be
Yeah.
done with the game altogether. Burn it, never
Okay.
touch
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah. So the to go over the costumes that I think I missed, just to say what they are. This is a gun. It's a
What?
bullet. It's a bullet for a head, and it
Costume's
fires a
name is
gun.
Bullet the Kid.
Bullet
Ah,
the kid.
Bullet
Yeah.
the Kid.
Bullet the kid.
That's such
I
a
don't
good
remember
name.
what-
Jesus Christ.
I don't remember what the World 4 new one is. I think it might be the King Gear.
Gear
Gear King. Okay.
Oh, that's the other
How easy?
gear thing you have to use. That one that would
How
work.
Try
easy
streaming the
is-
book while streaming a different game. says
I might just
Gomez.
play Sonic Adventure 2 to kill time while listening to listening to you play the audio or read the audiobook, basically.
That would work. That would work.
Yeah. How easy is it to get to level 5's costume?
5?
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause that's Lucky Bird.
Clueless. Please, Clueless.
I'm just curious. I'm not gonna get it.
It's the first thing on the guide. You need triple jumper, but it should be right near the start.
Oh fuck. Okay, then I guess we'll do that.
And then we're ending stream.
Yes, because that is a better fucking version of one of the No, this is the costume bin. Fuck it. Main menu. Fuck it. Triple jumper just makes everything so much easier to get.
Alan
Yeah, if
gave
you
an
had to get one
exasperated.
costume, it'd be that one.
Mm.
You forget we're in Wonderworld, where impossible is only a matter of your imagination's range. Guess you, don't have a very big
fursona that's
Your strong enough stage, to break little one.
rocks.
Your stage, little one, isn't the only thing you have the power to change. Images of Clock Tower Kid morphing into a giant monster flashed through Street Beat Leo's mind. You mistake my intent. That isn't at all what I meant, said Balin, as if he could tell what Leo was thinking from the look on his face. It isn't your negativity you draw power from now, but your positivity. And I'll tell you how. Listen up, bitch. Take cleaving open this stone for a start. Envision yourself strong enough to do it in your heart. Envision strength.
See, now I'm just imagining him like envision strength, and then he like closes his eyes and thinks really hard, and then it zooms out, and he's the fucking ball, like panda ball.
Oh, it gives him anchor arms. Now he's a jerk and everyone loves him.
Straight ahead to the first checkpoint, and the ledge on the left with yellow drops.
Gotcha.
Straight
Who
ahead
said
to the first
leave?
checkpoint. No, left. Straight away
That
from the
checkpoint.
start.
Oh, that
Oh,
checkpoint.
that checkpoint.
Yeah, that one there. That ledge on-
There's 3 checkpoints within spitting distance of each other.
and up to
Shit.
that ledge up there with the yellow drops on it. Up the stairs.
Yep. I see it. Maybe I could have grabbed the mouse for this. This is a
Oh
waste
my
because I know what
God,
this
that's
power up
cute.
is.
The key for it can be found down the right-hand side of the tree it's in.
Of course it can. Oh Jesus, that's a long way down.
Oh.
Going back to
Envision.
checkpoint.
Oh, sorry. Envision strength, said Leo, not quite following. Think of positivity like a costume you don. First
Oh
time
my
we find a
God.
said fucking costume in this book. You don whenever you need some additional brawn. A positive costume? Fuck
What
does
do you
that mean?
mean?
What do you mean? This
Key mouse
won't
right.
do. Fallon tapped a finger to his lips. You're more stupid than I thought, kid. It still isn't coming to you? Well then,
Piece
let
it
me
together,
call forth
dipshit.
Scarecrow's vision. Perhaps his status power will help your cognition. Apparently this guy's a lot better at it than you are. Balin reached
Even
for
Farmer
Leo.
Ted could figure it out, you dumb slut.
Christ, I had to get stuck with
Oh my
special AD
God.
kid today, didn't I? Oh my god, it's so fucking round.
It's still just an egg.
It's
Oh
the
my-
egg, but
I
it
love
doesn't
this
break if you
thing.
jump, which it still allows you to do. Oh.
There's
now
also
that
a
this, I've
costume-
actually got a dip. I will
Okay.
at some
See-
point in the
see
future,
you,
whatever we end up
Draco.
doing. See ya.
Thank you for sticking around for so long, Dragoni.
Egg.
Egg.
I still can't fucking
will
believe
give
that
me an
egg.
egg.
It breaks at the slightest change in ground elevation.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
What is the-
I kind of want to go back and get another one just to end the stream with the egg breaking. Also,
No,
to procrastinate a
and the
little
stream
bit
with Chicken
because-
Man, and the stream with Al's Toy Barn.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna fuck around and see if I can try and grab it while Quark continues reading for a little bit.
Balin reached for Leo, and the moment he touched him, Leo was enveloped in light. He squeezed his eyes shut against the overpowering luminescence. Once it finally faded, he took a timid peek at his hands. They were ugly as hell. They were giant, and his fingernails had sprouted into long, sharp claws. What did you do to me? Balin winked. A mirror appeared in front of him, and in it he saw he had been transformed into a furry. He was still roughly the same height, but his whole body was covered in fur, and his upper half rippled with powerful new muscle. Now he realized he was a muscle fetishist furry. This
Mm.
Oh
this is
Mm.
the shape of strength in Scarecrow's eyes. He's into some weird things. See if it's name you
What
can
the
surmise.
What the fuck?
Page 111. We have a costume.
Oh, I love listening to Clueless break slowly as I keep reading.
I mean, I'm also partly responsible by virtue of the fact that I'm continuing to expose myself to this fucking biohazard. It's not even
No,
a
Leo
Biohazard
biohazard.
is a
stared and
good
stared at
game.
his reflection in the
Mhm.
mirror. Tornado Wolf! Leo took in a sharp breath. It was more than just a name that came to him. He knew all of the one single thing he was capable of in this form, too. Leo stood in front of the stone, drew an arm back, and swiped down as hard as he could.
That's
The
not
stone's-
something Tornado Wolf can do.
What the fuck? I've been lied to! The stone shattered like delicate glass under the blow. Drops spilled out from the rubble. Whoa! Oh, it's his fursuit. That's beautiful.
With that jackass Balan in the
And
background.
that motherfucker. Balin grinned. And there are more costumes to be found. They're just as annoying to maneuver with as this one. Ones that let you breathe fire or
But not
fly
jump.
high above the ground. He cut himself off, grabbing Leo's shoulder and jerking his chin towards a Negody. But the creature must have already spotted them because it was creeping their way. What should we do? There's only one thing to do. Get rid of it before it gets rid of you.
Wow, fucked
You
up.
mean
That was
I
super
have
fucked
to-
up, Balin. Commit a murder, or else it'll or else it'll kill you.
Kill or be killed.
I've trapped you within this machine that I call a reverse bear trap. And if you don't get the key from out of your cellmate's stomach within the time limit, well, let's just say, you will have a splitting headache. Also, the more that I hear Quark's Balin voice, the more I can't help but think of fucking Snapcube and Chase doing the fucking Prismo's House of Mirrors bit. It's like, I'm trapped in my house of mirrors. I fucking love that video, and I'm gonna go watch it after I end stream because holy shit, it's so fucking
you need
good.
some kind of
Some levity. Find the real mirror, detective.
yeah.
You mean I have to kill it? Megady and Tim's for that matter don't die. They respawn. They just disappear.
They're
Power
true
gone.
gamers.
And eventually they do reappear, though how long that takes is unclear. Why don't you know? You run the fucking place. Leo
I
breathed a sigh of
simply-
relief to hear that.
I'm simply the night shift manager. I don't know who runs this shit during the daytime. They probably
Don't
know.
ask me
That
anything.
is
I
a
just work here.
spot-on impression of some character whose name is just not coming to me.
In the Snapkey video, they call him Snagglepuss, and I know the name Snagglepuss,
Yeah,
and I know that that's their
Snagglepuss.
voice, but I don't know where they're from, and that's what irks me.
Mr. Murgatroyd. Even if the Negody were his enemies now, he had gotten used to seeing the little creatures around Wonderworld. He didn't think he could bring himself to kill one, even in self-defense.
This is Fire Emblem Fates. This is the plot of Fire Emblem Fates.
Choose your path, Balin or Lance. So how do I make it disappear?
You fucking kill it with this gun I found.
Me oh my, asking questions you certainly do adore. I'm getting sick of you, kid. Especially all the ones I've answered before. Balin gave an exasperated
You
snort.
fucking dipshit. You've never heard of war? I accidentally made that a
War
three-verse
never
rhyme.
changes.
War never changes in the Wonder World.
Wonder War.
Balin
Megan-
Wonder War is what I call this place.
Wonder War.
Balin Wonder War of prisoner of war.
Balin
That's what
Wonder
you are.
Warcraft.
Balin Wonder World of Warcraft.
Negativity come from the negative piece of a person heart. I've told you this before, but I'm letting you know again, because you don't seem to remember a whole lot of what I've told you. Born from their fears and doubts.
friend.
The only way to get rid of a thing like that is to simply stamp it out. As Leo puzzled over that, the Negity appeared right in front of him. Without thinking, he leapt into the air, stamping down hard on the creature, just like Mario. The Negity disappeared. Yes, just like that. Now the time
Just
for
like that, my child. Murder, murder for Balan.
No. Now the time for my advice is done. You'll have to figure out the rest as you go, little one. I'm out of here. Wait,
Later,
you're not going to help me? This is your test, not mine. I don't care what happens to anyone here.
Find one of these golden hats, and maybe I'll fly through the air for a little bit. But I won't be helpful.
No, you're
that
damn.
I can assure you.
God,
Lee of
yeah.
Wonderworld, you must earn the passing grade. Good luck, little one. I'll be cheering you on to the end. We'll meet again. If you find one of those golden top hats, after you've rescued your friend. As soon as he finished speaking, Balan vanished. Leo felt helpless.
later,
I'm out
I'll
of
see
here.
you in
I
hell,
have a
asshole.
offer to catch. Leo felt helplessness creep into his heart now that he was on his own. But there was nowhere to go but onward, so onward he went. Towering walls crisscrossed the stage in winding, befuddling paths. Leo walked through them, smashing any stones that barred his way. He picked up the drops that spilled from the rubble and gave them to the Tims that followed him, like Balan had suggested. With each drop, the Tims grew a little bigger, though Leo didn't notice any other changes taking place. They just stared and stared at him. He supposed that meant they were happy. He followed the Illusion Scarecrow for a long time. Illusion Scarecrow actually sounds kinda cool. like as a band album name or something. It led him up a tall rise. At the top of the rise, there was a tree, big and beautiful and bright. Leo saw a tree that looked just like the one that had flown out of Clock Tower Kid's body, wrapped in a protective nest of branches.
Okay, I was watching the Tim machine while you were doing that, and I can't help but notice that they all seem to be physics-based, and we're having a really hard time getting past one specific part.
It's a really rough marble maze. I love that in the middle, they just vibrate left and right.
So, do we want to keep going, or are we just done?
For tonight, we're done.
I think we're good.
I think
Okay,
this is a good place to end it.
I think what we'll do in the future, if we do this again, bookmark where you're at in the Kindle.
Mhm.
Then what we'll do in the corner of the stream, I'll have this running. I'll just let the Tower of Tims go, and I'll just play Sonic Adventure 2 and do Chow Garden stuff or something, or just play for fun because I need a good platformer after this. I really do. Hell, I have the game is literally right on my desktop. I could boot it up right after stream. I could do that. I could boot it up now if I wanted to destroy everyone's eardrums. Fuck it, I'll try it.
Go ahead, get that palate cleanser.
Oh man, where the fuck are you?
We all need one.
Hang on, I'm gonna switch inputs on my fucking monitor. Okay, oh no, I have to log back into Steam. Oh well, I'll do that later.
Whatever. It's
Not worth the effort right now.
Yeah. Let's just call it here and end
done.
stream. Good night, everybody. Go do something that doesn't have anything to do with Balan.
Or, if possible, Yuji Naka. if you so desire. Holy
Hope you
shit!
had fun, everybody.
I certainly didn't.
Ah, God,
Oh, good
Mhm.
fucking lord!
this fucking game.
Yeah.
This is the
fucking
gift
book.
that this is a gift that never fucking stops giving, even when we wish it would.
We beg it to stop, and it just keeps going.
Oh, before I press the stop stream button, I would like to just fucking pontificate a little bit on how this fucking game and Chongo Show's very generous raid that he gave, Ryan's raid, that single-handedly pushed me over the follower count, and provided that I meet the relatively regular stream requirements over the course of these next few months, I might be able to reach Twitch affiliate status,
I
and
can't
that is
believe it. I can't,
and so
I can't
that is the
fucking
only
believe
thing.
it.
That is the
We're
only thing
becoming
that I'm
professionals now,
willing to give
baby.
this game credit for. So on that note, that is the only thing I'm grateful towards this game for. But in the until next time, I guess.
Good night.
Happy
Good
balloting,
night.
everybody. Good night.